Hey, Angela, what's going on? How are you?
Good.
We're live. How you doing?
I'm great.
How was your day?
Just swell.
You look swell. You look like your day was
I
swell.
look swollen. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, you're not swollen. That's horrible.
I can see the swell.
My my little monitor doesn't show that I'm actually live, but you see we're live, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. I get nervous about these things, you know. Oh, it's probably because I don't have. Oh, I don't know. Weird. I wonder if I just refresh this. Well, anyway, happy. Was this Wednesday? Is this the hump day, as they call it?
Today's Wednesday. Yep.
Today's Wednesday. Oh yeah, here we go. Alyssa's back. I am Bobo's here. Erica's okay. Cool. Yeah, I wasn't getting like an actual feed. I hope that I fixed the audio problems we had yesterday. I don't know. I tried I tried out some new drivers. If that's exciting for you to hear. So hopefully we won't be interrupted today. We were having such a nice little live yesterday, and so I'm sad that my technical difficulties once again came back to haunt us. But at least while we sound good, while we are good, we sound good. Yo, what's up,
Alyssa
Alyssa?
is streaming this show from across the world. Across the world.
Across the world?
Yes, said, "Hi guys, I'm watching you from Tel Aviv airport right now. Before anyone comes at me, it's just a layover. I'm on my way to South Sudan for a week to help out with some medical stuff." She said, "The doctor life.
We thought you might be like,
I've got a connecting flight through Addis Ababa before heading down there. Honestly, this airport is super clean, and the coffee here is actually really good. Definitely one of the nicer layovers."
well,
Before
hey,
anybody comes at me for being in an airport.
You know what's so cool is that it's the first time I've been in Tel Aviv.
Oh, you? Yeah, for me, first for me too.
It's kind of cool. I like it. Yeah, it's all right. It's not what I expected, I suppose, but yeah. I don't know. Let me try the coffee. I'll tell you right now. Oh yeah, that's fucking delightful. Absolutely. No, say hello to Tel Aviv for us.
Is it good? Is it good coffee, or is it good coffee compared to airport coffee?
It's 2 a.m. in Israel right now. It's crazy.
That's a rough time for a layover.
It's a good time for a coffee though, if you got one.
God.
Just like. Phew.
Flights are exhausting.
Delicate has arrived. Erica is here. Did I say that already? Erica says, Angela, can I get Carlsbad Cavern story from you because I haven't been able to find it?
Oh.
Well, yes, if you send me the link, I can put it in.
I was actually really
notes.
embarrassed because I was looking for it's actually in the folder. I don't know if you want to put it up. But apparently it's an old story. They just had recycled it onto my feed.
Oh.
But apparently this happened a while ago. So I don't know.
It's still a big deal.
Yeah.
It's still fun to talk about. I mean,
yeah.
In terms of, I guess fun is maybe not the word.
So maybe if you're looking for it recently, that's why you're not finding it.
You keep doing this here. Holy shit.
Let me just see.
I'm so glad to see you. What's going on? That is so cool. Aren't you glad to hear that?
Yes. I'm trying to find this. I want to find this in my history.
For those of you on the YouTube side of things, I'm sure you remember you keep doing this. She has returned. I feel like playing something, the inspirational orchestra music. Orchestral. She's been busy with family and stuff. You don't have to make any excuses. We're always just glad when you can drop by. So,
okay.
But and also glad that you're busy with your family. I mean, that's a great thing to be busy with, I hope.
I have an answer for you, Erica. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is actually recent, so everything I just said is a lie.
Angela.
Erica said, Angela, can I get the Carlsbad Cavern story from you because I haven't been able to find it? I have found it. It was linked from an article. Apparently this is on the Carlsbad Caverns National Park's Facebook page. Their post about it was September 6th, 2024. So, a while ago, but not ancient history. Yeah, it's from the National Parks Services. So I got it from an article that was reporting on this, but their whole story is from the Carlsbad Caverns National Park Facebook page.
All right. Well, if you want, I can put the notes somewhere for you guys, and we can put the link in the notes or something. I'll put it in the show notes, and we'll just put it there, say for Erica, and then we'll put the link, and then you can just get it out of the show notes. Because
Will you remember to do that? Because I won't.
Yeah,
Let me I will. Here, what I'll do is I'll screenshot this and I feel like after 2 hours of talking with everybody, it's just going to be gone.
You're going to be like,
Yep. Exactly. Delicate said my dog is sick. I may have to take her to the ER.
what's wrong?
Well, you know, Delicate, I used to work in emergency animal hospitals. Maybe I could be of some assistance.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think it's like an emergency, and it's not.
Maybe. You always want to err on the side of caution, though. So
Yes,
make
that's
sure
true.
you do what's best for the pet. Yeah. If you're too nervous about it, then take the dog in. What's the problem?
What seems to be a problem with your dog? We're like car talk.
Yeah. That's so stressful, though.
Yeah.
Dog stress is so.
Yeah, it just sucks because they can't tell you what's wrong, you know? They can't tell you where it hurts.
Yeah.
But we saw a lot of people whose dogs, like, they were like, oh, he vomited today. And I'm like, well, if he's acting normal and he's, like, still doing his normal eating, drinking,
Right.
activity stuff, then it's probably just a
Our
temporary
dog
thing.
vomited today, as a matter of fact. Was that today? Or was that yesterday?
That was this morning.
She got back into her bed after you cleaned up, and she smelled the area and just stopped. Because I guess you put like odor stuff on there or whatever. And she was just like,
Yeah. We have a shared laundry, so I can't just, like, do laundry when I need to. I have to,
Yeah.
like, fucking compile the laundry and then, like, get in line with the freaking neighbors.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's been a crazy day, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, first of all, just I looked at one photograph of Ozzy's funeral, and it just crushed me.
What photograph?
Well, it wasn't even a photograph, actually. It was, I think, a still from a video, but still, of Sharon Osbourne breaking down. And I just I think I have this like incredible, you're my greatest, gift in life. And so like I have this incredible like amount of empathy for the loss of like your significant other, more so than really any other, I don't have children, so while I can relate to the grief, I can't relate to the pain. Do you know what I mean?
It's a really, really distorting grief, too. Like, it really... I've mentioned this before, but Joan Didion wrote a really amazing book about it, about that kind of grief, where someone really close to you passes.
Yeah.
She called it... the book is titled The Year of Magical Thinking.
Yeah.
But she was remarking about how she just stopped making sense. Like, it's just everything changes so drastically that you really have... Your brain has a hard time functioning properly. So like the grief process is really convoluted, and it's all uncharted territory obviously for everybody, but also just like the story that Joan Didion was telling was that she was like obviously aware that her husband had passed away, and that's not a spoiler, that happens early in the book. She was super aware that her husband had passed away. She wasn't like, going through the stages of grief where she was like doubtful or anything, and she was packing up his things. And then the very last item that she had to part with were his shoes. And that she really struggled with that. She was like, well, when he comes back, he's going to want his shoes. Like, if I get rid of his shoes and he needs them, he's going to be really upset about that.
Well,
but like she knew. She was like, I know my situation. I know what happened. I was there when it happened. Why am I struggling to get rid of this guy's shoes?
I'm trying to not like, I'm almost resisting this conversation just because I don't want to feel this pain. Like that's like,
but this is the promise. This is the thing. Everybody dreams about having a close loved one, of sharing your life with somebody. But the promise of that is that one of you has to watch the other one pass away.
No, I know. Who was the comedian that had
that? Was Louis C.K.
Yeah, Louis C.K.
who had awesome comedy about dark stuff.
He was
like
a funny
this
guy until you realized he was
before he was
freak.
Exposed.
Yeah.
But that was like, he was like, that's the best case scenario, is that you partner with somebody for life and you get along and you raise your kids in synchronicity and like everything's perfect. And then at the very end, one of you has to watch the other one pass away.
Yeah, no, it's obviously
the
hell.
worst.
No.
So the punchline was like, so maybe you're better off being single.
Yeah. For me, it was just like seeing Sharon and seeing her break down. And then I kind of just went through what I know about her. And then, I could imagine to some degree, fill in some of the spaces in terms of like the kind of life they had. Like part of what I like to do is like imagine scenes, between, people I don't even know. Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy Osbourne would be a great couple because we've seen them. We've seen so much of them. It's kind of easy to like play a little movie in my mind about how these two might, have gotten through some spots in their life as they got to this point, which is where one has laid to rest the other.
I really hope that they, I feel like as like a really prominent goth couple, right? Because they're like a goth couple.
Yeah. I
really hope that they like picked out his sarcophagus together. Like I hope that he had like a super metal. Did you see it? Did they show it?
I didn't see it.
I was hoping that he had like some real like Dracula coffin, you know, something like super adorned, really metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nana Weezer on TikTok says that she says, "I'm single. It's not better."
It's not better.
No.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it is.
Like,
I think it's actually. I think her grief is an earned grief.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a grief that it's a vested.
Well, that's what they say about grief is that it's just love with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And that's why it's painful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't come up with that.
I'm not just reacting to the beauty of it.
I just think that, you know, I'm often reminded of the concept of the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Wheel of Fortune is the idea that if you're up, you end up going down. If you're down, you end up coming up. So I think that if you've had like...
I have been, man...
Yeah.
It's a long way down for some people, bro.
The only thing that's sure is that the wheel will always turn.
Yeah.
That things will always flip. You can expect it. You know, it's like the lesson is like, stay light, you know, like things are going to change. You have to be adaptable. So I think that if you've been sort of like, you feel like you're blessed in life with a romantic partnership that lasted so long and you end up with this horrible grief, that's just your wheel is turned.
Yeah.
You know, if it turned out that you felt like you didn't have that partnership your whole life, then maybe you're spared that pain, a very unique pain, you know?
Yeah.
And so that is also your wheel turning up, like, you know, you end up having an easier time. I don't know.
So anyway, I was just talking about, we kind of went down a little deeper than I probably thought we would, but you know, I just saw that picture of her. I saw her breaking down. I felt it. It hit hard. So it kind of made the day like kind of heavy, but in that like way of, you know, that nostalgic sort of way also, because I naturally, you know, began thinking about like my relationship with Ozzy Osbourne over the years. I never had a personal relationship with Ozzy Osbourne, but my relationship as a fan from a very, very young age to this day, right? And so anyway, sad day in England today. Streets were lined with thousands of people. Like, how cool was that?
Oh, so a bunch of people like went to the church as fans?
Like lined the streets. Like it's just like
was it a church?
Like the Royals. I didn't see the. I'm gonna imagine so, but I don't know. I don't know where he's laid to rest. I didn't check out the venue really. I was just kind of wrapped by the picture and by the sentiment behind it and just all the feelings. You know, there's also like the exploitation side of it. You know, the fucking TMZ side, which is, you know, I like using them as a source. So I feel like this, like torn between two lovers kind of situation with them because, you know, they on the one hand can, you know, be informative, but on the other hand, they're really exploitative. So, you know, what's the first thing they do is they have like a picture of the kids who stay out of the limelight. You know, it's like they stay out of the limelight, asshole. Like, right. Can't you just fucking move on with it and like shoot Kelly and the other one, Jack? Do you know what I mean? Jack, they want that. They're like, hey, look at me. So that's cool. And I'm not, you know, here I am on fucking YouTube.
You're right.
I'm not saying shit.
I didn't even know there were other kids. They did that whole reality.
Like 6 kids.
Yeah. The reality TV show with the family. And I thought that was it. I thought that was all that there was.
So, you know, there was that side which was disappointing, but ultimately I could feel it. I could feel Ozzy's sort of, this was Ozzy's moment with the family, you know? And so it's like deeper than like, on this day, I feel more sadness over his passing than I did on the day I learned. And even on the subsequent days of just kind of, you know, coming to that like realization of, you know, Ozzy's not on the planet. And, you know, this may sound, you know, a little ridiculous since, you know, me and Ozzy Osbourne have no relationship at all, but there are some celebrity deaths that like affect us. And, you know, these guys are from my childhood. And part of it is a reminder of how old the fuck I am. And that bothers me. It's like all my idols are passing away. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing them die and they're dying from old age, which is like good and bad, you know, because it's like, I want them to die of old age and really nothing else, but then they're dying of old age. And that means I'm on my pony right behind them.
We got to get ready, dude. We got to get ready to lose more
to die?
of them. No.
Oh.
We got to get ready for it to lose more of our idols because they're all gonna. This is, it's coming up.
Everybody wants the Baldoni stuff. I know you guys want that. Think I don't know what you guys want? I know what you want.
Do you want to segue to that?
In a minute.
Because it's so funny to me. I can't wait.
We're gonna get to that. Because that's the longer conversation. So I want to get to that. I might as well get these other things out of the way.
Okay.
And just kind of, and then I'll go into the save stuff at the end of the day as I kind of usually do. But kind of something I cannot wait to see the new Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
I have this huge nostalgia for Superman. And just for you who don't know, Angela and I don't go to movie theaters right now because we are still COVID cautious. I believe I suffered some long COVID, and we avoid disease.
Dude, in some cities, they are doing accessible, like immunocompromised accessible screenings.
Well, if that happens for us...
Where they call it like masked at the movies or something, and they make sure that all the air is filtered, and then everybody can just hang out. Because, there's some people who are like, tracheostomy patients,
Sure.
Who literally cannot wear a mask. They cannot protect themselves. They can't go to a movie theater without being exposed to something that's potentially deadly.
Yeah.
So I think it would be super fun to put that on in our town, but I don't know if there's enough people like us who would be interested in that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I want to see Superman, and we don't go see it in the theater, so I have to sit and wait patiently for its subsequent streaming release. I am super excited about it, and didn't mean to do that. And the reason I am is because I feel like this is like throwback in terms of like the way they used to make them, Not to sound like an old guy,
but... You
but...
think that James Gunn is doing a way that they used to make them?
Yeah,
I thought that his was probably going to be like snarky, comedic, like...
So it does not appear to be.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, George Martin actually came out and he was like, this is the old school. This is the way it used to be. This is the stuff I love. This is the stuff that these Marvel movies have been missing for so long.
That's a big endorsement.
So it is, because he is an amazingly like deep writer in terms of like getting into the core of emotion and relationship. And he understands, dramatic structure better than probably anyone living right now, or as well as anyone.
Well, who wrote it?
As good as anyone. I don't know. That is a good question. Let me find out for us while we
I'm going to look this up. You don't have to.
Thank you. So, yes. So, I'm just super excited about it. I don't know if any of you have seen it. You can certainly drop any spoiler-free stuff in the chat. If you have, I just definitely want to see this movie.
Oh, James Gunn did. 2 original writers are credited, but obviously they are not. I think they've passed away.
Passed away? Oh, the...
Original writers are credited.
Yeah.
James Gunn is the only credited writer that's not labeled original writer.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, I haven't seen it yet, but the word on the street is it's a great job, and so I'm excited to see this thing.
5-star review on the Superman letterbox.
Okay.
This guy goes, 5-star review. Oh my God, call me Gal Gadot the way I don't know how to act right now. This is why I don't write on Letterboxd. Like, I love that. I love that that app or whatever,
Yeah.
But everybody's too funny. I'm like intimidated.
Well,
that's really funny.
Thrilled to say that I'm thrilled to say that it's got these great reviews, because it's a movie I want to see. I don't remember the last Superman I saw, actually. It's been that long for me because I've just had no interest.
Yeah.
So this is like totally new for me to want to see any superhero movie whatsoever. And in fact, you will hear me, if you haven't already, speak about how I think, maybe we can get past this, or we could start limiting maybe the amount of releases that it gets, so that the theaters can have more diversity. And speaking of that,
oh wait, listen,
Naked Gun is opening up this weekend. It would be really cool if people go out and see this movie, man.
Oh yeah. Alyssa said that her hospital did that for lung transplant patients. They had a whole section blocked off from movie night.
Yeah, I would love that.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should just go watch movies at the hospital with.
I would like it if they would just do it for people with 2 reasonably healthy sets of set of lungs in there. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have 2 sets of lungs. 2 lungs. I have 2 sets of lungs. I have 4 lungs. I have 2 extra lungs in case
they're
my
like
2
wings
main
you unfurl
lungs.
from your back. It's creepy. It's a party trick.
I'm like a cow, but with lungs instead of stomachs. Anyway,
I'm very upset that our dog is choosing to hang out in the hallway and not in this bed right at my feet. I'm feeling a little offended.
dog gets on the phone with her vet. I've been like waiting for her update on the dog. I hope the dog's fine.
Yeah, I hope so
hate
too.
I hate when my dog is sick, man. It gets me stressed out big time. Really does. Okay, so anyway, congratulations to James Gunn. It's now the highest grossing solo Superman of all time, which
really?
is pretty cool. Yeah, and I think that's a distinction worthy of note if it in fact is hitting all the the dramatic structures. Again, I'm an art house guy. Like I watch action films mainly because you like them. I enjoy them, but I don't they're not my like what I crave in movies. What I crave in movies is like deep, like I got to think about this shit, So I am, whatever. I don't, no apologies.
I like those too.
I know you're very eclectic in that way, but so for me to want to see a superhero movie is a big deal for me. So I'm excited for it. I hope I'm like, the cool thing is you can't overhype what I'm expecting if I'm going to get what like George Martin kind of promises in his statement about it. You can't overhype that because all it is like a movie with heart and soul in it, and a movie that's going to make you feel. You can even like throw a spoiler in, like a blatant spoiler, but if it's got the ingredients for, if it's got the heart and the soul, then I'm in, bro. I love me some superhero movies with hearts, with the feels. Our dog just walked in like Gregory Hines.
We've been doing this show for 20 minutes and now you decide to show up. You're late.
So the last thing I'll have before we'll get into the Baldoni stuff is just this Diddy update that just like the whole thing just sickens me. And like there is so much, I don't know, man. So first thing is that I'll say about Diddy is that there's almost no chance that he's going to stay in jail beyond his sentencing date, which is in October. However...
Oh, really? You think he's not... Oh, because he'll get...
So what I read today, is that some attorneys...
his sentencing date would be when his sentence begins. No?
No, his sentence will begin when he was first incarcerated in 2024.
Yeah, okay. And so you think that he'll have time served?
He will have time served. So what I've read today is that these lawyers are weighing in, and basically the charges for which he was convicted aren't charges they would have even brought if that was all they had on him. So they all...
This is what I'm saying. It's so suspicious.
So he's basically up for crimes that are crimes you add on and you drop off in the end, or you negotiate off.
First of all, that's weird. You're saying that lawyers said that human trafficking is not a charge they would bring?
Well, that's not what he was convicted for.
No, I know, but I'm
talking about what he was convicted for. So the
prostitution.
No, he was convicted for transporting prostitutes over state lines.
Yeah.
Which is a federal offense. That crime is a crime that Fed prosecutors would normally never bring if that were the only crime up against somebody.
I know, but what I'm saying is that wasn't the only crime that was brought.
That was the only crimes for which he was convicted. And so...
Yes, but you're saying two different things.
He's not going to go to jail. And Donald Trump is going to pardon him if he doesn't get bail. It's pretty much what Donald Trump and the White House... So the White House, this is so fucking... And I just think this is a very interesting situation for Donald Trump. And I just think it's like, I mean... I want this guy to totally implode and lose everything. And he's trying really hard, it seems. Like he's about to put a pardon down on P. Diddy, which everyone agrees is a morally corrupt or a morally bankrupt individual. So, he's about to fucking hand that dude, a dude with whom he also poses with photographs similar to the kind of photographs you saw him posting with one Jeffrey Epstein. And he is gonna release this dude if he doesn't get bail. And then Trump has said, this is, by the way, official White House statements on this. Trump has said that White House has said that if he is not given bail, then he's going to make a decision on the pardon immediately. If he is given bail, if Diddy is given bail, then he will decide on the pardon based on the sentence. So he's telling the court exactly how this is going to go, or he's going to make it go that way. He's literally adjudicating this case, as far as the sentencing goes, from the fucking White House for P. Diddy. He's telling the judge, let him out on bail or I'm gonna, and you better give him time served or I'm gonna. Pretty wild.
I remember learning all about how the executive branch and the judicial branch were like two separate branches of government. I remember learning that.
When you break down what the fuck is going on with this thing, like this guy is never like stopping at like the highest level of corruption we've ever seen in the great wide open.
Well, it's just basically like he's interested in the legal issues of his friends and other celebrities.
I think he's getting bought. I think it's like he's said from the White House, they said that the White House is in contact with Diddy's attorneys, so they are watching this extremely closely. I think this is all about a paycheck. I think that Bitcoin guy that he let out in January was the same thing. I think this guy is just getting checks in the mail.
Yeah, maybe
for getting people to walk.
What do you think about Diddy's situation? So, do you think that he is endangered outside of prison? Do you think he's got like a bad situation to come back to if he's freed?
I think he's more feared.
Feared?
Yeah. I think he's more feared than he is afraid.
Why feared?
Well, I mean, he's the guy who has the reputation of unaliving people. He's the guy who's got the reputation of moving up in like gangster fashion.
No, I know, and everybody thought he was a
record industry.
Everybody thought he was a Fed, or that he was working with the authorities because he kept getting away with stuff.
The people who testified against him were victims of his violence. They were victims of car bombings. Apparently, they were.
But you don't think any of that has changed for him now that everybody knows what he does?
Well, I think at least for the time that Donald Trump is president, he's emboldened. He's got the arguably the most powerful person in the world, but certainly the country, adjudicating his fucking case from the White House. He's in pretty good shape right now as far as friends go. I think he's got the friends he needs in the right places to continue to be the P. Diddy everyone fears.
I can't imagine ever wanting to hang with the dude anymore. Like, he's so exposed. If you're one of the people
flock to money, dude. They just flock to money.
Yeah, but you don't think that he hasn't lost a lot of it through this fight? Like, nobody's going to give him that money back, you know?
I don't think that. I think P. Diddy has plenty of money.
He's still being sued, too, and settling.
Like a lot. Like, he's got, just so many lawsuits. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know if people should fear him or if they actually do. I'm just saying I would. I would if I was talking shit about that dude. I'm afraid of Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. I'm literally afraid of them as we speak. Part of my like constant speaking out about it is like, enough people are going to know about it so that I can't, so it makes it harder for them to make me go away. But I fear them. I have every reason to.
Yeah, Toby admitted in his own deposition that he was throwing around jokes about about connecting with like the mob or mafia or whatever.
Let me correct you. Actually, he was not throwing around jokes. That is exactly.
No, in his own deposition, he says they were jokes.
Yeah, well,
nobody else believes that they were jokes.
Well, there was only two people there. There was Toby and there was Jerry in that conversation. Jerry's words to my ears were that Tobey Maguire said in all seriousness, there was no joking, that if he had a connection to the mob, that he would have already robbed unalived. So.
It's just so funny.
I'm particularly concerned about that.
What's so super weird is that so he was asked about that in his deposition. And instead of saying like, no, I've never say anything like that about a former friend of mine. Like, that sounds insane. He was like, yes, I definitely did say that, but it was in a joking manner. Like, nobody jokes about that. That's not a joke. How's that funny? Explain the joke. Like,
unbelievable is what it was.
It's not a joke. So you admit to saying it and nobody believes it's a joke, which means that you made a threat. And I just can't believe that he admitted it. The guy's a monster.
Yeah, quite amazing. Quite amazing. All right. So the story of the day, Justin Baldoni falling flat on his fucking face again. This guy, dude, is just getting exposed by the minute. First of all, let's start out with this. Let's start out with Andy Signor. Is it true that Andy Signor sued Blake Lively?
In Florida court, there is an item on the docket, and it is Popcorn Planet v. Lively.
What a loser. This guy literally is trying to take a book out of Brian Friedman's... thank you. Brian Friedman's, PR through litigation stunt. He's doing a fucking PR stunt. What a fucking... This guy has stooped to the lowest of lows. I hope Blake Lively, because she gets now to countersue him, and I hope she just fucking... he doesn't understand what lawsuits can cost. He doesn't understand what they can cost. He doesn't know what he's getting into. He doesn't make enough money on that fucking channel to go up against a billionaire. Ask me, I fucking know. He doesn't have any chance in hell of hanging long in a fucking litigation with a movie star. Good fucking luck to you, big boy. I hope she smashes him. I hope she literally just smashes him. I hope she ties up his money and his time for 2 years at least. I hope he is drained financially. I hope she looks at this and goes, "Oh, what an awesome opportunity. I'm going to spend $20 million on this fucking guy. I'm going to make every living breath he takes painful."
Okay.
From this day forward.
Let me just somebody was...
Delicate's giving you the lowdown on the dog, by the way.
Yes. I did read that, Delicate, and I'm really glad that you're in contact with your vet. That sounds like a really...
difficult problem.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like something you would take to your vet.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so I wanted to find this because Baldoni Files has been really helpful. There's some lawyers on there that are helping people sort of discern, the lawyer speak a little bit.
Yeah.
And so this question was posed today. Popcorn Planet and reporter's privilege. Okay, so Popcorn Planet's motion to quash was linked, and they're asking for advice about what does this mean? How strong is this legal argument? And
you're saying, so let me understand. You're saying this is the whose motion to quash is this?
Okay,
is
so
this Perez Hilton's?
Yeah, so no. TAG had submitted a list in Discovery of the content creators that they were in contact with.
Okay.
And Andy Signor was on that list.
Of course he was.
And so his information about contacts with Blake Lively, contacts with the Wayfarer parties, was subpoenaed because obviously Blake Lively is interested in information that has to do with the defendants, right? Mm-hmm. She's not interested in personal, whatever, private information from Andy fucking Signor. She just wants to know.
She doesn't even care about him at all. She's interested in what
about the defendant's
were.
behavior.
Yeah.
So he is submitting this motion to quash saying you shouldn't be asking me anything. 2 key arguments that he's making.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, the subpoena impermissibly seeks disclosure of privileged materials. So the Popcorn Planet is entitled to Florida's reporter's privilege, is one argument, is the part of the argument that he's making. And that Blake Lively cannot overcome the reporter's privilege because the information can be obtained from other sources and there is no compelling need. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is interesting argument.
No, he sounds like he's going to win that.
No, listen.
Yeah.
Reporter's privilege is... it's about reporting on lawsuits and things that happen on the docket.
Yes.
Right? So if it's posted to the docket, even if it's privileged information between lawyers and clients, if it's posted in the court, reporters are able to talk about it. Yes. Right? Even though they're a third party.
Because it's public.
Right.
Yes.
What he's talking about is publishing public statements from the lawyer as a publicist. That is not reporter's privilege.
Right.
So he doesn't have any privilege. There's no privilege between him as a reporter yes, he can talk about these things, but he's not supposed to be in contact with the attorneys. They're not his attorneys. So there's no privilege between the attorneys. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes. You can't have privilege with an attorney that is not representing you.
Right. So she's like, I'm seeking information about their contacts with you as publicists, as attorneys, because you're a reporter. That's what I'm interested in. And he's saying,
let me correct that, by the way, because you can actually invoke privilege on when you're not being represented. Like, for example, if you're taking a case to a lawyer.
That's not what he's doing.
But there are circumstances where privilege applies. Privilege isn't just isn't blanket like applied just because you call up a lawyer and go, hey, you're a lawyer and I'm not. We have privilege. That's not how it works.
No, not at all.
No.
But this part is interesting. He said that the information can be obtained from other sources, so there's no compelling need. And that is interesting. Like, so if it took two to tango and they want information from him about the other party, well, he could be like, well, you just have to ask them, not me. Like, don't involve me.
Yeah.
So that is interesting.
Yes.
But I don't know whether it's going to prevail. The second argument that he's making, he said that the subpoena imposes an undue burden.
Well, the reason why he might not lose that, by the way, or the reason why he might not win that is because
The undue burden?
No, the previous one you just mentioned, the one you just mentioned. The reason he might not win that potentially would be if they're arguing that they want to see if he's in contact with others. So it's just because he's in contact with the one they know about doesn't mean that they don't want the information relating to conversations he's having with other potential sources for him that she doesn't know about. But, again, that seems a little bit
He's also citing reporters' privilege. Another reason why that might be valid in a completely different scenario is if he's protecting like sources like a whistleblower or something from government interference, and that's absolutely not what he's doing at all. Shield laws. This person answered. Shield laws are supposed to protect whistleblowers, and we already know who his source is because Popcorn Planet told everybody on YouTube. So that part is dead on arrival.
So, by the way, you keep doing this, as you know, as an attorney, right? So she's with us, and it's fucking awesome because she drops stuff on us all the time. So she says that she also thinks that the smearing of or facilitating of smearing would not be covered. So that's
not be covered.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You're not just allowed to do that.
Yeah, you can't like hide behind privilege, and it's the same thing as like crimes. You can't use privilege to hide crimes. I mean, that's not entirely true in terms of a lawyer, and but you can't you can't use for example you can't confess unaliving people to psychologists and that be under privilege, for example.
Right.
Like that's not allowed.
Also, he's arguing that the subpoena imposes an undue burden, and I'm just really skeptical about that. I mean, he would have to show them like an itemized accounting of how much it's burdening him, like in his time and expense.
I think you're gonna have a hard time proving that if Lively's attorney is going to come back with his GoFundMe success. It's you're going to call it an undue burden, but you used this very opportunity. And so their answer has got to be something along the lines is Andy Signor used this opportunity to fleece his viewers for more than $20,000 in legal fees. What burden does he speak of?
And he went on vacation in
Europe. This has not cost $20,000 out of his pocket legally yet. Unless he dropped a retainer, but he didn't. He already had a retainer. He had an attorney on retainer.
And also, being subpoenaed doesn't have to cost you anything. You're just supposed to provide information. And correct. I don't even know if he was directly subpoenaed. I think that I'm not sure what undue burden he's even talking about. He doesn't have to defend himself from a subpoena.
No, there's no defense of a subpoena.
Especially if he wasn't subpoenaed directly and he was instead subpoenaed like through Google or...
He was not subpoenaed. Google was subpoenaed.
He doesn't have to do anything.
He had to get a lawyer to decide whether or not he wanted to file the quash. And that's up to him. That's not to them. That's his choice. Right. And he can choose that because they're not looking at anything particular to him. They're looking about... They're trying to match some of the data that they're getting. And they are getting some interesting data because... And I want to make sure I got this right because you're the one who told me this and I haven't read this. Is it true that they said they have emails or some... Let me just finish the question. Is it true that they said that they have emails or some other correspondence where Brian Freeman where they basically caught Brian Freeman colluding and smearing and participating in the smear campaign?
There was a hearing today in court where they were arguing, both sides' lawyers were arguing over these motions to quash. And there was, it's really hard to follow these, when there's two lawyers talking to a judge. Yeah. And I'm not a lawyer, it's kind of hard to figure out what they're saying. Well, but other people that are smarter than me have discerned that it does sound like they are addressing... Brian Friedman was not arguing with the judge. It was another one of the attorneys. Okay. And it seemed like they were addressing his correspondences with like Megyn Kelly and other content creators.
Candace Owens.
Yes, as if he is potentially a witness, and not just a lawyer.
So,
like that he has information about the smear campaign.
so I'm confused. Is he implicated? Is it like he's like directly like? Do they have proof in their hands?
Dale, the hearing wasn't about implicating Brian Friedman, but they were referencing his correspondences with content creators himself, and so it does seem as though they have that top of mind for the Lively attorneys is that Brian Friedman is communicating with content creators himself. And like, your lawyer, I don't know how much your lawyer is supposed to do that if the whole case is about retaliation and a smear campaign.
It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds, especially now that you've got like this element of Popcorn Planet thinking that he's going to file a lawsuit to get some fame and try to ride Blake Lively's name. He's such a scumbag. Honestly, that's the lowest of low in my book. You're just, he has no business suing Blake Lively for anything. Blake Lively hasn't done anything to him. He's harassing her at best, right?
I'm not so offended about it just because I know that he's wasting his money doing it. So that doesn't really bother me.
I'm offended by it because I find it a repulsive act, right? Like, like
lawfare, right?
No, yeah,
like,
he's using Blake Lively's name. He's using the fame of this case to try and elevate his name in the press. This is about him becoming a headline.
We should watch his videos and see what he says about it.
This is about PR. I don't give a fuck what he says. I'm not watching his videos.
I'm curious about what he says about it.
I mean, you can talk about it. You can watch.
That guy has loose lips. That he was saying, "I got this directly from Brian Friedman. Let me show all you guys what he sent me."
Yeah, I mean, you can watch him all you want. That guy.
Like I kind of want to see how he implicates himself.
Yeah, you can. I'm not. If
he's like, I filed a lawsuit today to punish Blake Lively. Well, then there you have it. That does sound like something he would say.
It's going to be interesting to see because, like, the other interesting thing here is that he's filed this lawsuit, or there's this lawsuit on the docket. If it gets filed and she has to answer it and she decides to counter, he's got this documentary, which he then has interviewed scores of people. So now I don't know if he's getting put up for this. Like, he could be getting put up to this by people like Candace Owens.
That's what they want to
know. And exactly, I mean, he's making himself vulnerable to that. It's just going to be an interesting
Dude, if I didn't want to be subpoenaed in a lawsuit, the last fucking thing I would do is file a lawsuit that puts me closer in connection to this whole mess. If I didn't even want to be subpoenaed, like, he's not a witness, he's not a defendant, whatever. He's just being upset. Yeah. He's just upset about having to give any information. Yeah. Why would he then like jump in head first to the quagmire that he's trying to avoid?
I don't understand it.
It's weird.
By the way, you keep doing this, and just to remind everybody, she's a lawyer, so she's in the know. A lot of what he has done already, he would be censored by the bar in her state.
Ooh, tasty.
Polly says Friedman is a great lawyer, which is really funny. That's like great. Yeah, man, he's great, man. Wayfair, they're the best producers ever. Like, between like the greatness of Brian Friedman, the attorney, and then the incredible, like, beautiful production power of like Wayfair, it's just, how can you go wrong? Oh my God, that's so funny. Anyway, so I can't help but laugh at that. I do apologize to, I'd be so like evil guffawing, but
evil guffawing.
It's just
that's
so
the name
stupid.
of my new album.
Evil guffawing.
That's what the album is too.
It's the title of my book of poems. Evil Guffawing by Dale Wheatley.
It's better. That's a better title.
Perched upon a perch.
Okay, so the next thing that happened today that was really, really, really entertaining.
Yeah, this is super juicy. We're kind of blowing through our stuff. I fear that we're gonna we're gonna be standing here with it's only 7:45, and we're already halfway through the main.
Yeah, that's
story.
okay. Maybe we'll have an audio problem. We'll have to leave early anyway.
That's true.
Did you fix it?
I don't know. How can I know? We'll find out. But if we make it to the end of this live, I'll say yes. There was a driver issue, and not necessarily a driver issue, but I found a guy on a forum who said all I did was switch drivers and the crackling stopped. So
Sweet.
We shall see.
Awesome.
But we're up in Manham right now, so let's hope so.
Okay, so for like a year, Baldoni supporters have been saying, if Blake Lively's telling the truth, then how come she doesn't have any friends coming out to support her? Not even Taylor Swift has been vocally supporting her. Nobody has come out in support of Blake Lively. She must be lying. Okay?
Yeah.
And
which is also not true because we know that Paul Feig has come out in support of her multiple times.
it's not true. And it's also, she's trying to win a lawsuit. She's not interested in a publicity campaign.
And nobody wants to get dragged in it. You're right.
No, but yeah. I'm sure she's advising all of her friends to please
stay the fuck out of this.
keep it to the chest.
My fight.
Yes.
You know, stand by and watch.
Yeah.
You know, if the kind of support she's getting is the kind of support you want, which is her friends are there. You know, they hang out. You know?
Well, so Justin Baldoni's side does have some people coming out to support. One friend who spoke up for him and said that he was there and Blake Lively's allegations are false. This also happens to be Justin Baldoni's closest friend, who was in his who starred in his proposal video, and also played the OBGYN, who is central to one of the claims in Blake Lively's case.
Not the one because she was a woman, right? So she wasn't the one that was there to catch the baby. That was his best pal.
That was his best pal, right? So
cis male.
Yes, he has come out in support of Justin Baldoni, which is like no surprise because Justin Baldoni's already said this guy's my best friend. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, then this other woman came forward. She had previously worked with Justin Baldoni, and she wrote whole 3 pages on her Instagram. This
is like her, like this big support post of.
Yes, her name is Miranda Davis.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mirinda Davis. I mispronounced that.
Apologies, Mirinda.
So she is saying that I know Justin Baldoni. I believe him. In fact, I know that he's telling the truth because I was there on set and I saw how he conducts his set and how everybody was having a wonderful time. And I didn't notice any distress from Blake Lively or anything. In fact, I was on the set the day that they did the birthing scene where she gives birth. And then in her Instagram, she posted photos that she'd taken of her on set at the location where they'd had it, like they created this pediatric hospital.
Yes.
So she had the sign, right? And then she also posted a picture of one of the monitors on set that showed what they were filming. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, so what she didn't realize was that she just destroyed one of Justin Baldoni's claims, that he had a closed set on that exact day.
Well, listen, it's even worse than that because remember that they answered this. They said to her claim, and they made a big deal out of this. They talked about.
I screenshotted what they said in their documents.
They talked about her, lying about the patch.
Do you want to hear what they said?
Sure.
Okay. On his timeline document, Justin Baldoni had May 22nd, 2023, shoot day number 6. Lively prepares to film the hospital scene in which her character Lily gives birth. In Lively's December 20th, 2024 complaint, Lively alleges that during a birthing scene, she was mostly nude with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her crotch. And that description, just alone, seems really vulnerable. Even if she was fully clothed, she's mostly nude with her, even if she's fully clothed, her legs spread wide in stirrups.
Yeah, I don't care if she's fully clothed. She doesn't want a bunch of gawkers standing around with their fucking phones out with her fucking legs up in stirrups.
Also, is she supposed to pretend to be giving birth? Like the shouting?
She's going to be shouting. She's going to be doing all that really like robust,
intense
like super
acting?
intense acting that like can really be over the top and embarrassing.
Yeah.
And it's also like super intimidating already. You've got all these people gawking at you in this situation. These are the people that have to be gawking at you, the paid gawkers, if you will. So to have anybody laying around on the set to do this, even if she was fully clothed, and listen, if Blake Lively said that at one point she was in a patch, there's no fucking getting that wrong. She's not going to make that up. She's not going to be like, oh, that was another movie. If she was in a patch, she was probably in a patch at some point.
She also said that there were non-essential persons present. And according to this document that Justin Baldoni submitted to court, right, he said this allegation is knowingly false. Okay?
Yes.
That there were non-essential persons present.
Right.
Well, so Justin Baldoni's own friend just posted pictures of her on set.
Yeah.
Also, part of the closed set protocol is that nobody who is not essentially needed to see those monitors can see what's being filmed. but she just took a photograph.
Which is another violation because right there on the fucking call sheet, it says no phones on set.
Yeah, so she has her phone and she's taking photographs.
Yes.
And she also is taking pictures of a monitor that is clearly within her view.
Yes. And shouldn't be.
And shouldn't be.
And she shouldn't even be standing there.
Even if they were shooting a prior scene and it wasn't the scene where Blake Lively says that she was the most uncomfortable, on the call sheet, it says closed set for all of the scenes that day. Yeah. Every single one of those scenes that day is supposed to have a closed set.
That's right.
And he is saying that it was.
Look, he's saying it was closed. He's saying that
there were no non-essential people present.
And he's calling her a fucking liar. He's saying she has she's like, exaggerate. I mean, this is so bad. This is what I mean when I say that I feel like these guys are moving toward a summary judgment.
I know, but this friend of Justin Baldoni just provided everybody with photographic evidence.
And I'm saying like
that nobody else saw before.
It's summary
about
judgment
how Blake
stuff.
Lively is correct and Justin Baldoni lied in his court documents. He submitted this to court, guys. He's a liar. It's nuts. I can't believe it.
It's this is so bad.
This is what the call
I don't think people understand how bad this really is. This is literally a witness that they didn't even probably know existed.
So how do you think that went down?
That Blake Lively knew this witness existed.
How do you think this went down? Do you think that she was like, "Hey, Justin Baldoni, I want to post a message of support for you. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. Is that cool?"
How about it's more like, "Hey, what's up? It's Justin. Could you do me a favor? Because I don't know, man. I don't know if you noticed, but things haven't been going great for us these days. So I was wondering if you could do us a little favor and maybe just jump on because you remember you were on set. You saw me working. You saw the relationships I had with people. You remember that? Oh yeah." She's like, "I even took some pictures.
We were vibing.
We were vibing. Everything was great. Okay, cool. Well, maybe just do a little Instagram post and talk about how and if you got some of them pictures, post them. Give some." And you know what? We'll boost it for you. Everything. Let's do this. What do you think? Can you help me out? She's like, "Oh, of course, for you, Justin. Anything."
So you think that
I think he
might have asked her to do it and didn't even think for a second that it would be super, super bad for her to show photo evidence? I think
there's got to be at least there's certainly a possibility that he was like, "Yo, do me a favor, do me a big. You were on the set, you were there. She's full of shit. Post about it." She's like, "Okay."
So now his defenders are online saying, "Oh, well, she was crew. She was supposed to be there."
No, she's not.
She wasn't. She's not credited anywhere on the film's credits.
That's not true. She's not essential crew. She was a cast member.
She had worked with him previously, but I don't think anybody is saying that she worked on It Ends With Us.
Well, she was crew. What's her? She's
a choreographer.
She's a choreographer?
Yeah.
What was she choreographing? What was she choreographing?
I'm sure she's a really nice person, but I hope that she deals with this well, because I think that she may have tanked her very close friend's case today.
She's not essential personnel. She's not gonna. And also, if she's essential personnel, she still took a picture, which means she was essential personnel who was breaking the rules.
I know. There's no way to explain.
Like you can't.
If she belonged there, then she should have not been taking pictures.
You can't.
If she didn't belong there, she shouldn't have been there.
Yeah. First of all, why would she be taking a picture? Why? If she belonged there, if she was essential crew, literally no essential crew member would do that. It's the same as I won't get into that. Nobody who is essential crew on a fucking is going to whip out a phone and start taking pictures. Nobody.
Can I ask
That's
you?
never going to happen unless they were asked to do that. But on a closed set, they might do that in an open set situation. And yes, it's possible that she might do that because she doesn't know the rules on a closed set situation. Like maybe she wasn't informed. If she wasn't informed, if she did this because no one told her not to, that's them not doing their fucking job again.
Yeah, they failed.
There's really no way that you can bill this as something other than them doing exactly what Blake Lively accused them of doing, which was running a loose set in moments when she was her most vulnerable.
She was assured that it would be a closed set. This is really the thing. They told she requested a closed set, and the director and the producer were like, "Yep, we're gonna do that for you."
But it's not just that she requested it; it's fucking SAG rules. These are they were following SAG guidelines, and these SAG guidelines aren't meant for just the producers; they're also meant for the actors. They're meant to be there so that the actors can create the environment that they need to feel safe and to give the kind of performance that they've been hired to give, right? So these guidelines aren't just for the producers; they're there for the actors too. And so these guidelines are to be followed, particular to the actor's needs. The reason why they don't become enforceable rules, meaning SAG requires specific things, is because in some instances they give the creative control to the actor. So There might be an instance where an actor was like, yo, man, I thrive on energy, man. The more people here, the better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they want to perform.
So you don't want to like break SAG rules and prevent that actor from having the opportunity to be the actor they want to be, or, be inspired in the way that they want to be inspired. So SAG then lays out these guidelines, and these guidelines are things that the actors can ask for as a matter of protocol for their scenes, particular to, things like sensitive scenes, nudity, whatever. Same is true for violence, any kind of triggering scene, So it's fucking bad no matter how you slice this up. You can't slice this up in a way that doesn't prove her point, at least to some reasonable degree. And that's all she needs, because we're not talking about somebody making a little fuck up on this. This is exactly what she filed about. This is her sexual harassment claim. This is her claim, because they're literally required by SAG to follow these guidelines if the actor needs them.
Yeah, so she was like, it's supposed to be a closed set, and obviously it was an open set.
And
there
we
were
know
people
that
coming in, the monitors were on, everybody was watching things they shouldn't have been seeing.
And there's no argument about whether or not it was supposed to be a closed set, because they themselves published the actual call sheet whereon it says all the rules, including no phone, only essential personnel. I've been on closed sets. I know the rules.
I'll read it. It says at the top of, so it's like a grid, right? So at the very top, so it covers everything. It says closed set. So closed set on the day. There's 3 scenes that they're shooting that day. There's two hospital scenes taking place in one location, and then they created another location for a 3rd hospital scene. Okay, so closed set, no visitors on set without prior approval, no personal cameras on set, no forced calls. Does that say forced? It's a little blurry. Does that make sense? Forced calls?
Probably says no phone calls, but...
Forced
calls. I don't know what that would be.
Anyway, no personal cameras on set.
Yeah. There's also, it says no phones on there. There's a, in the screenshot I saw.
Yeah.
There's like, there's like a little bar that goes at the bottom of the announcement. And then on that bar, it says no phones, no blah, blah, blah. Because on closed sets, phones are cameras. So they have a provision for no phones also. But obviously, if no cameras, that means you can't whip out your phone and make it a camera either. So there's no technicality there that, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is fucking crazy. This is a bad situation for him. And it's the kind of situation that I think can eventually lead to something like a summary judgment.
So this is more about what he said on this day in Justin Baldoni's own timeline document that he submitted to court. Lastly, in Lively's complaint, she states that the set was crowded, chaotic, and utterly lacking in standard industry protections for filming nude scenes. For one, Lively was... So their response is, for one, Lively was not nude, nor did the set diverge from industry standards. Further, closed set protocols were followed every day on set.
Not true. We know that's not true now. We know that's not true.
It's not true now.
We know that's not true, even if you want to try to pretend that this person was essential personnel. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be easily proven. Even if she was, then she broke the rules. And if she broke the rules, she either didn't know the rules, or she wasn't, or it's just, like a loosey-goosey operation, as they said back in the day.
Miranda Davis signed her little written testament of Justin Baldoni's character. She signed it in truth.
In truth.
Miranda Davis. And that is amazing for her exposing
in truth
photographs that
I can't believe it.
Reveal the truth.
I really can't believe it. I find it absolutely amazing.
I just love this case, man.
This case is wild.
It's twisty. It's turny.
Like, it's amazing because like this case is as crazy as it is without a trial.
I know.
Like, this is just so.
And you don't think it's going to go to trial, right?
I do.
You do?
Well, and unless there's a summary judgment, I don't think there'll be a settlement. I do think that there's a possibility for summary judgment because this is so overwhelming. Like, once again, you have a situation where they've put evidence forward and then it gets refuted by their own fucking petard, right? Like, hoisted by their own petard. We have a woman coming out saying, I can vouch for this man. And so
her message was very sweet. Like, I don't want to make it sound like we're making fun of her, but she really should have had the foresight to not show pictures of the day on set. where
Literally.
it was contentious to have pictures.
Like is it like,
It's just
so
really
it makes you
amazing.
wonder, like,
The one day.
let's put on the tinfoil hat and say,
Oh, do you think she's really against him? Is that
yeah,
right?
like, what if this is like a plot, like to be like, I'm going to come out and I'm going to expose him, like, to not, like, is
know.
she in the Baha'i faith? Like, does she have to, like, worry about that? Like, is she putting out this, like, thing to be like, no, I support you. Here's a picture of me doing exactly what you said you wouldn't allow.
Oh, you're saying like she was put up to do this, but she.
She was like, fuck you, Justin. I'm going to tell the truth through
I
through
doubt
a
it,
post
bro.
that's, hey, listen, come on, man. I'm a writer.
because
You can draw this out.
Baldoni is a very charismatic person, and he does
is.
make people feel better. That's what Shane Norman said in his lawsuit. He said, I had serious problems with this company and had one meeting with Justin Baldoni. He made me feel all better. The guy's really, really skilled.
Dude,
At
you,
that.
you know what I mean, listen, his that, you know, when he's talking about the child attached to her boob or whatever, that phone call, but the rest of that call, like, when you take that entirely inappropriate comment out, and, you know, I've made
And
inappropriate comments.
if the voice note had occurred like 6 hours earlier,
Yeah.
and like all these other different,
Well, but he
different
just
things
left
that had
her-
to happen to not make that super weird.
Yeah, but they just left, or they had just finished texting or whatever. So I'm a little like more forgiving, I suppose, on the, you know, on the timeline, but, or the timing of the call, just because, again, they were texting and there might have been context for the time, but where I'm getting at is that he was, like, honestly extremely charismatic. He is so charismatic. He's got the gift of gab. He speaks extremely well most of the time. He has this self-deprecation that's just enough to make you feel like he means it.
You say he speaks really well, but he doesn't understand when not to tell people about his porn addiction.
Well,
or when
I didn't
not
say
to tell
he's-
people
I
that
didn't say
he
he
didn't
was-
used to take no for an answer.
Well, you
or
know,
when not
yeah.
to tell people any of the other outlandish, weird things that he's uttered in a workplace.
Well,
like,
because-
it's just so strange.
Well, what's interesting in that situation is that this is stuff that I think is coming back to haunt him, because I think that, you know, he's telling these kinds of things he's leveraging these kinds of things as a means to, like, build rapport around this idea of that he's this, like, confessor of these, you know, this toxic masculinity that he now
yeah, like, look at me. I'm an
abandons.
open book. You can't
Yeah.
suspect me of anything because I am just, like, right here out in the open, and
I was
I don't
addicted.
hide anything.
I was addicted to porn. I did bad things. She said no. Did I
One thing
take-
about me, I always tell the truth.
Right,
I'm even
exactly.
going to tell you about the bad things I've done.
It's his whole manipulation. It's what he did in his TED Talk. I mean, the first thing he says in his TED Talk is that he shouldn't even be the one giving the speech that he's giving. That he's not qualified because he's actually the problem, not the solution. I mean, I'm obviously, I'm obviously, what do you call it? My mind's blank. Never mind. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I know that the chat is blowing up with some people who hate us, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. First, I want to share with you that Alyssa says that the way Dale talks about Angela is couples goals. So cute. You are cute.
Well, I think you're the greatest thing that
all right.
the Earth has ever produced. You know, it's a purely
The earth, like, I got spat out
subjective.
by,
Like, if
from a bubbling
from the
well.
groin of the earth, the loins
That
of the earth.
has ever produced, like that scene in The Ring where she just, like, crawls out of the well.
With all that, like,
Yeah, exactly. That's me with my
Son
hair
of
in my face.
yeah.
Bob Smith is with us on YouTube.
Hello, Bob Smith.
Says subpoena all content creators that dare to criticize Princess Lively. Okay.
No, that's not the case. I think you guys like missed the point here. You guys don't.
It's not about them criticizing her. It's about
Yeah.
literally the publicist provided a list of content creators that they had on their radar. And so Blake Lively is very interested in finding out what the defendants, right? Those publicists, what they were up to.
Yeah.
So it's very, very normal for people in civil litigation to go and subpoena the contacts for information about what the defendants were doing.
For sure.
It's not about whether any of these content creators produced anything that criticized Blake Lively. They're just following the leads that the defendants provided.
Her issue isn't
You guys are looking at it from the wrong direction.
what they're saying. Her issue is why they're saying it.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I think you're missing
were
the fucking
they told
point.
to say that?
It's not that they're saying it. It's why they're saying it.
That's perfect. That's
And so once you figure that part out, you realize that her curiosity has foundation. You know, there's a good reason for it. You know, it's not Bob, as simple as her, trying to pick on content creators. Blake Lively's been around a long time, dude. Like, you guys, she didn't just fucking wake up into this business, bro. She's been in it her whole life. She's been dealing with the press her whole goddamn life. This is new to you, dude. This ain't new to her. What she sees is abnormal. What she sees is there's something fucking fishy going on. There's something that ain't right going on.
Yeah, and she has a ton of evidence of them planning exactly how they're going to attack Blake Lively in the press. They're like, hey man, if she starts talking about like this stuff, we're gonna try and make it so that she's, actually against feminist ideals and bullying women and like Taylor Swift hates her or whatever. And then we saw all of that play out in the press.
Yeah.
So it's like, we've seen them plan to do some action, and then we've seen the result of the action. And even the judge himself said that it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you would assume that these people who are professionals in a field are getting paid like $30,000 a month to do the thing they planned on doing for their clients, and that their clients seem to be very happy with the service, that they went and did the thing.
Yeah.
So we have evidence that they conspired, which is one of Blake Lively's claims, right? A cause of action is conspiracy to create a smear campaign. I can't remember the wording, but it's conspiracy, all of them. So we see evidence of the conspiracy.
Yes, we do.
She has proved that claim.
For sure.
With the evidence. And we see the result of that plan if it was executed. So it's just like, she's already won.
I mean, it looks so bad for them. She
just has to tie all of the different knots together, but the strings are like laid out. It's a very bad,
the other thing is like people are wrapped up in
analogy.
the SH, but literally like this post by Baldoni's friend proves it, because her basis for harassment was that they in part was that they didn't observe industry protocols to protect her and keep her safe, that they made her vulnerable. Because remember that it's not just the fact that she said that the set was chaos, that people were there that shouldn't have been, but also that he hired this dude to get up in between her legs, and that was a part of her SH claim. And I think all of that is being proven without any doubt. Personally, like obviously, the thing about putting the friend in there, like, will a jury get on board with that? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but I think they will. I think they'll see that as inappropriate, because I think they're going to see that Justin Baldoni is just being a bro. Tris SFN said, I think he wants to be so authentic. This is on YouTube, by the way. I think he wants to be so authentic. He puts himself up for more judgment. I think it's interesting, and you may be right. I think he tries to be so authentic because he wants to manipulate people with it. I think he uses these ideas.
I have a different theory.
What's yours?
I've seen the way that Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath talk to each other on the Man Enough podcast. And I think that they provide a very helpful service to one another, where they admit to prior wrongdoing, and then the other one will sort of launder their conscience about it.
They kicked me off of YouTube, off of TikTok, due to inactivity. I'm going back.
Oh, did you get a CAPTCHA and you missed it?
Oh, I didn't see a CAPTCHA. TikTok's a pain in the ass, dude.
Anyway, do you want to hear the rest?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath will always admit to each other some prior wrongdoing. And then immediately the other one will be like, yeah, but you're not a bad guy, because here you are talking about it and you're learning and you're growing, and we're growing, we're getting better, And so I think that what they do is they just volley back and forth. They'll just admit to something terrible, and then they'll skip past all of the accountability part and just go straight forward to forgiving themselves, and just expecting everybody else to go along. There's nobody he gets to talk about how he didn't always take no for an answer, Justin Baldoni, from his own mouth, right? He gets to say that.
Yeah.
But he's not talking to any of the people that he was involved in those dynamics with.
Right.
And so it's really easy for him to just admit to this stuff, because there's nobody pushing back on him when he says, but I'm different now and I'm better. And because I recognize that makes me a good person.
Yeah.
So there's nobody there to come back at him and be like, well, actually that was really traumatic, or actually I was really hurt, or actually I don't feel like you get the whole you have a full understanding of the impact of your behavior, all of the stuff that has to go along with an apology in order for somebody to feel everything is getting better. Like there's no, he's not engaging with any of the people he harmed. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of what he does when he's just like admitting to bad behavior is just being like, well, I've forgiven myself, and he's just expecting everybody else to go along with it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see it that way. I do really like, and the reason is because I knew dudes like him. I was probably like him many, many, many years ago, and that I would like use whatever I thought might make a girl warm up to me quickly and give me a chance to date her or whatever I want, from the evening. Do you know what I mean? So as a kid, as a, teenager or less, do you know what I mean? Like, and I knew guys who did it. Like I saw people doing all this shit. They're like,
yeah, like I'll learn guitar because chicks like it, or
right,
I'll get a
right.
nicer car because girls
chicks
like it.
dig vulnerability, chicks dig honesty,
yeah, right.
Chicks dig, like that's what I think he's doing. And I think he saw, and I think he did that. I think that was his first game. That was like his parlay in was to be this dude who could like, do this with women. And then all of a sudden he got an acting gig doing it. And then he got a fucking, and
Bro,
then he got the fucking, the big TED Talk doing it. Right. Then the podcast doing it.
You're like, he's like, this works, dude.
This just works.
I succeed when I do this.
I tell people, I comb my hair stressfully and tell people how I've cured myself of these, or I'm working on becoming a better man.
But you're not wrong, because all throughout his whole memoir, he talks about how he basically has a real reflex for approval seeking. So it just seems as though he's like constantly initiating these like tough conversations so that somebody will give feedback to him about how he's grown and he's a better person.
Right. Yes. Some validation for sure.
Some validation. Yeah. That he's always seeking that.
Oh, really?
It's all over his memoir. It's like, it's kind of weird. He writes about it, but he doesn't really talk about like, like the dynamic at play.
He wants what people say about Pedro Pascal to be said about him, or he wanted that about him. But he was out there basically asking and begging for it while Pedro is just behaving the way he behaves. And then he has things being said about him, like Spike Jonze's comment about how he's the kind of masculinity the world needs right now. Do you know what I mean?
I know. It must be so frustrating because Pedro does it effortlessly.
Yeah, he's just being Pedro. He's just living his life and being a dude or whatever.
And all the women around him are like, he's so safe and cuddly.
Yeah. I wonder if there's going to be a moment in this case between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni when the majority of the people who had followed him and who believed in him will actually start to see the actual writing on the wall, and they'll if there'll come a time when they're able to set aside their unfounded loathing for Blake Lively. I understand not liking an actor. I have plenty. I thought Hulk Hogan was a piece of trash personally, right? I get it. It's cool, but I would never spend any part of my life following Hulk Hogan fans around trying to destroy any good feelings they had about their guy. I just find it. I wonder if there's a line that'll get crossed. You know how we're seeing it a little bit with Trump, where people are like, where there are that level of supporter that was, like, I suppose perhaps blind to the idea, or just bought into the idea that the Democrats were just like, oh, it was all the Democrats' fault. Like they were all telling the lies and filling lies about Donald Trump. And now the Epstein thing's starting to make them come around. Like, those sort of not extreme people, but those people who are kind of like on the fringe and like, yeah, Blake Lively's a bit of a bitch. And
I don't know if it's a good comparison, because there's such a cult of personality with Trump supporters. Like it's a different, it's such a different context. Like I would make a comparison with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's trial. Okay. Yeah. There were people that believed that their side was right before the trial.
Yes.
And the outcome of the trial didn't seem to change anybody's mind. I don't know that there were many people, like maybe there's a fraction of people who were like, saw the evidence and was like, okay, I changed sides. But people still, even after the verdict, they still are very, very sure that what they believed prior is still the case. Well, I don't think an outcome in court is going to change people's opinion about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
I believe that's true for some, I certainly. But I'm wondering if there's like I said, there's like the people who might be more on the fringe of it all, or people who are like, well, people who think that through whatever means they get their information, that they were able to like glean, yeah, Blake Lively, bad person, princess syndrome, Princess Lively, as somebody else put it here in the life. So, you know what I mean? Like, just be able to like justify it with their limited amount of information and their perhaps narrow scope of, or narrow feed of news or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. If you don't open it up, if you don't even know that it's not opened up wide and you think you're getting all the same news I'm getting, right? And then those people, maybe they start like, those are the people I'm talking about. Like, I just want to feel optimistic. I want to feel optimistic that there's somebody out there who's going to be like, you know what? This doesn't add up.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know that.
I just want people to start like realizing shit doesn't add up in these cases. Whether it's Epstein, whether it's Diddy, whether it's Blake Lively, I don't care anymore. Whether it's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and all this goddamn worship of Leonardo DiCaprio, and the guy's he's a loser. But will people figure it out? I don't know.
I love your passion,
Dale. Her blackface. Oh God.
Oh yeah, this again.
Oh God, what does it have to? I just don't even understand. Like, again, you cannot like somebody. Like, I don't like a lot of people. I don't understand you.
If she did something weird and like inadvisable, like 10, 12 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, does that mean that Justin Baldoni didn't harass her on set and then retaliate against her when he thought that she was going to tell everybody?
I just don't understand where we're going with this. I'm not telling you to like Blake Lively. I don't care whether you do or you don't.
It also doesn't matter if she doesn't need to be some innocent angel to not have been
to be a victim.
To not be a victim.
It's absurd. It's just so absurd. You know what I mean? It's just like you're talking about something entirely different. Yeah, you're not talking about the fucking merits of the case, dude.
Okay, so it's interesting. It's like maybe she was in a costume that people thought was distasteful. Maybe she was wearing like a face mask and took a picture. I have no idea. But I don't know that Justin Baldoni can put that as evidence in court, right? Like, I don't think he could submit whatever photograph you've seen to the judge as evidence that he did not harass her in his workplace, right? She's his employee. He is her boss. So can he submit that photograph that you've seen of Blake Lively that makes you dislike her as evidence to prove his case that he didn't harass her and then retaliate against her with his publicists? No? Then it's fucking irrelevant.
It's so stupid. I just or that she got married at a plantation or whatever it is.
Then you're being fucking tricked, dude. Yeah. Like, you're being manipulated to dislike somebody instead of listening to their claims. And that is a very, very common, it's literally called ad hominem, and it's a logical fallacy. And this is something that everybody is just like, you're supposed to know this.
You are.
You're supposed to know that when somebody tries to discredit the credibility of somebody making an argument, it's because they aren't standing up to the argument itself.
Yeah.
You're supposed to disregard.
They either lack knowledge or they lack truth.
Yeah, you're supposed to disregard that fallacious argument. It doesn't matter whether she's a good person or not. Does she support her claims with evidence? Does he support his defense with evidence? That's what we're talking about.
Cosmic Urgency's back, by the way. He took his dog out. A couple days later, he's back.
Glad to hear it. Yeah.
Apparently got away.
Yeah, I have a few dogs I take care of that take that long. It's annoying.
It's just so fucking easy. It's just so easy. This is the part that drives me crazy. It doesn't matter if you don't like Blake Lively. What the fuck does that got to do with it? This isn't a popularity contest. This isn't about whether one person is good or one person is bad. This is about facts about a case. This isn't about whether you're not. I don't care about Blake. I've never seen a movie that she's ever been in. I've never watched a thing.
That's gonna have to change, right?
Well, whatever. But
we're gonna have to watch this movie.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, maybe we do, maybe we don't. But the point is that I don't care about her. I don't care about Ryan Reynolds. I don't watch any of their stuff. They don't make the stuff I like. I've literally never seen a feature film with Ryan Reynolds in it. The only thing I've ever seen with Ryan Reynolds in it is Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place, because my wife at the time had a client in the show. It was the only time I ever consumed their products. I never saw a Deadpool movie. I've never seen anything she's in. This isn't about liking anybody. I'm indifferent to them both, frankly.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah. Although I'll tell you my opinion before you do. My opinion about Blake Lively, my indifference toward her has been changing to more of my liking her, because I truly believe that she's doing this for the team. I believe that she's exposing a guy who I think could have gotten real bad. Like, things could have gotten worse. I keep promising the Horny Growl episode, it's coming. To me, that's the most revealing thing in the evidence that we've seen so far, was that growl. That growl to me
That's weird.
is to me a predatory growl.
Well, there's just no explanation for it. Even if it's not predatory, like what's the good reason why he growls in her face?
Well, that's the harassment part of it. But what I mean by the predatory is that I mean that it might not be predatory in the moment, but it feels like the guy, I could understand how she might think, hey, this guy is trying to pull the wool over the eyes of women in my industry. He is trying to lure them in with the false promise that they are equals to him, that they will be heard equally as anybody else in the production. And he's none of these things. They're going to come aboard believing perhaps the way she believed that they were going into a set that was not only welcoming of women, but safe for women, where men were conscientiously aware of their toxic masculinity and working on it in the moment, where there would be a certain adherence at least to the basic values and principles of creating a safe and equal environment between people. These are the things she probably expected going in. And when she didn't see all that happening, it's not, to me, it's entirely likely that she sees this as an opportunity to set a right for everyone, not just for her. Sorry to go on so long.
Don't apologize.
I'm sorry. And it doesn't matter if you fucking like her, bro. I don't care if you don't like her.
Yeah.
If you do something, if somebody does something to you, if you're an unlikable person, or if somebody steps up and says they don't like you, but you've been wronged, are you just going to sit there and take that shit? If somebody fucks you over in a major way and takes from you something that belongs to you, something that means something to you, if somebody damages you in some way, and you've got a reputation for being a bad person, is there anybody on the planet that thinks you're a bad dude? Does that person then disqualify you from justice? Does that person's opinion of you disqualify you from justice? A lot of people don't like me. They think I fucked over Leonardo DiCaprio, as ridiculous as that is. Does that disqualify me from justice in my life? Does that mean that anybody can fuck me over because somebody thinks that I'm kind of a bad dude with regards to my relationship with somebody else? You got to think about this so that you can become a fair human being. Be a fair human being in the world, dude. Because if you're going to do this with Blake Lively, are you going to do this with somebody in your community, somebody in your family, one of your friends? Come on, man. I'm sorry, but where's the fucking boundary, bro?
There's no perfect victim. You know what I mean? Like, it's exhausting already.
Thank you for you keep pointing that out, and I love that you do. There is no perfect victim. You're not going to find a perfect fucking victim.
It's not required for a person to be perfect their whole life. People are talking about how Blake Lively was a mean girl in high school. Guys, that was like 30 fucking years ago.
It's how sex workers.
How is that in defense of Justin Baldoni? You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime anybody makes that argument, I'm always like, wow, you're really making your dude. You're a big fan of Justin Baldoni. You're making him look real bad by making these arguments instead of defending his case, Yeah. Here's what I wanted to ask you. Okay?
Yes.
I have here Blake Lively's amended complaint. These are her causes of action.
Okay.
I want to ask you your opinion about how well she has proven each one of these.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes.
Because we are, after the depositions are done, after the discovery is done, the next stage is summary judgment.
Yes. Okay.
And so I'm very curious about whether we believe that the judge has enough to decide the case before it could go to a trial.
Okay.
Her first cause of action is SH in violation of Title VII. Specifically, in engaging in the conduct described in this complaint, defendants It Ends With Us Movie LLC and Wayfarer through defendants Baldoni and Heath discriminated against Miss Lively in violation of Title VII by subjecting Miss Lively to harassment and creating a hostile work environment on the basis of her sex/gender.
Do I think that she's proven that? Yes, I do.
How?
Well, I mean, I think it's proven just by the pictures that we saw today.
Awesome.
So.
Discrimination based on her sex and gender.
Well, as far as the discrimination based on her sex and gender, I don't know if that part of it, but that there's several aspects there to this.
Let's see.
So I don't know if it's that specifically.
Not discrimination. That it created a work environment that a reasonable person would perceive to be hostile, intimidating, offensive, oppressive, or abusive.
Yes, I think that look, has she proven it with the
hostile, offensive, oppressive, or abusive?
I don't know that she's proven that yet.
And that would be through witness testimony, through depositions, or at trial, right?
Well, I think it's going to be, yes, it's certainly going to be, the preponderance of evidence, obviously, but it's look, there are aspects of that I think that she is very close to proving already, but we're not even through discovery. So you just keep that in mind as we kind of give our opinions here, that discovery is not finished yet. Today, for example, here's a great example of how discovery is such a variable in everything. I'm going to venture to guess that Blake Lively did not know that this witness had this information or this picture. This woman published a picture that proves what Blake Lively claims in this lawsuit. So I don't think they knew that existed. Do you know what I'm saying? So have they proven that entirely? Probably not entirely. Have they proven that partially? I think they have very strong evidence in part to prove that claim. Do I think they're going to be able to prove it as they finish discovery? I think it's likely. I think as we see all these different things, also the way in which the judge has interacted with Brian Friedman, who is an embarrassment to the profession of the lawyer profession, the law profession.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Do you want the second cause of action?
Yeah.
Is retaliation in violation of Title 7. So this is Miss Lively engaged in protected activity by complaining to Wayfarer, Mr. Baldoni, and Mr. Heath about harassing treatment based on sex and other unlawful conduct on multiple occasions during the filming and production of the film, which Miss Lively reasonably believed to be unlawful. They have admitted that in their documents. So I believe that is well proven.
I'm just putting a little note in TikTok so they don't kick me off again. So I just told everyone, thanks guys for all the likes and love. Love and likes.
Okay, you have anything to say about that?
One more time, please. Can you run it past me? Because I did distract there for a moment.
Second cause of action is retaliation in violation of Title 7. And that is when Miss Lively complained
Yes.
that she engaged in a protected activity because she was complaining about harassing treatment based on sex and other unlawful conduct on multiple occasions during the filming and production of the film, which she reasonably believed to be unlawful.
She has proven this overwhelmingly.
After Miss Lively
They
engaged,
have proven it. They have proven it.
After she engaged in such protected activity, defendants subjected her to adverse employment action, including but not limited to launching a coordinated campaign to cast Miss Lively in a false light during the publicity and promotion of the film and thereafter.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's overwhelming.
Okay, cool. Third cause of action.
By the way, that's the most important one. And that cause of action, the interesting thing about that cause of action is it doesn't require SH to be proved. It just requires SH to be filed.
To be reported.
All it requires for retaliation to matter, to be a viable claim against Justin Baldoni is, did she file a complaint? And if the answer is yes, it doesn't matter whether or not that complaint is valid. It doesn't matter. And none of that matters, bro. It doesn't matter whether you or me like the complaint. All that matters is that, did she file it? We know she did. Then was there retaliation? If they find retaliation, it's a wrap, dude. And they're going to find retaliation. I think it's just like overwhelming.
The third and fourth cause of action are kind of a repeat of the first two, but they are citing a different law. So SH in violation of FEHA, and then retaliation in violation of FEHA. And so those are employment laws. Fourth cause of action, retaliation in violation of FEHA. This looks like a repeat, but it's different. They're two separate causes of action. What? That's weird. I don't know the difference between the oh, it's just, okay, this is just a copy. Okay, fifth cause of action. Are you with me? Is this stupid? Should I stop?
I love it.
Okay, fifth cause of action, retaliation in violation of the California Labor Code. Ms. Lively engaged in a protected activity by complaining to Wayfarer about harassing treatment.
Well, the funny thing about this is now you're getting into these areas of law that Friedman just completely fucking ignored, because this is where you're going to get into trouble damages. So this is kind of the sweet stuff right here. But yeah, I mean, if they've proven, if the earlier retaliation is proven, then this one is likely to
so
also
it's
be
all
proven.
three of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sixth cause of action. Failure to investigate, prevent, and or remedy harassment in violation of this workplace law, FEHA. failure to investigate, prevent, and or remedy harassment in violation. So he has a chance to defend himself there,
right,
if they can prove that they did anything in response to her complaints.
This is his time to shine, because
So far,
this would make a. And by the way, we have in our possession right now the CDR's guidelines for this stuff.
Yes,
so
where it instructs them on what to
there are
do.
guidelines that the CDR recommends. As a matter of fact,
CRD, the Civil Rights Division.
Civil Rights Division. So there are guidelines the Civil Rights Division recommends employers follow. There are actual rules they actually have them follow. But for example, if somebody gets, if somebody gets harassed, and you're the employer, you're the person being accused, or somebody in your organization is being accused, you can reach out to the CRD. And they have a complete guideline to help you process that complaint in accordance to the rules and laws of the land. That's all they have to do. And by the way, just telling you, man, their fucking investor is in the HR space. He is an HR innovator. Using, they put out HR software. Oh, fuck, this harasser is here. And... hide user on this channel.
Okay, sixth cause of action, failure to investigate, prevent, and or remedy harassment in violation of the FEHA. So at all times herein mentioned, the FEHA was in full force and effect and was fully binded upon the movie and Wayfair as employers or joint employers of Miss Lively.
Yes.
And so specifically, the law requires employers to take all reasonable steps to prevent harassment.
He's going to fail so bad
and makes
here.
it an unlawful employment practice for an employer to fail to take all reasonable steps necessary to prevent harassment from occurring.
Literally, they have in their complaint, Jamie Heath, this is not, there's going to be a witness to this, but Jamie Heath literally making fun of the fact that an HR complaint had already been filed when he hugged somebody and went, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
So in Justin Baldoni's
So by the way,
filing,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just said that and it just made me the bell went off. He knew that excessive hugging on the set was inappropriate.
Yes.
Because he did it and then he went, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that since we already had a fucking complaint.
I know.
They're on a skewer over the flames.
So when they're in Justin Baldoni's own lawsuit and his timeline document, so he tells the story about Blake Lively bringing all of these complaints. She had complaints. They were scattered over, as the days that it happened. She was good about it. She was doing exactly what she's supposed to do. Where she sees something, she says something.
Yes.
So then they have this whole narrative where they're talking about how she finally called a meeting. And she was like, look, guys, we have to do something about these complaints. I've witnessed this. I've witnessed this. I've witnessed this. And she explains them all. And then in Friedman's writing, he talks about how all the times that everybody involved had apologized to her. And that was the extent of what they planned to do about it.
Hang on a second. I got to, a small interruption. You remember Bad Wolf?
Yeah. Hasn't
been around a while. Bad Wolf is back. And Bad Wolf is like, is this Angela? This is Angela, Bad Wolf.
I have not been replaced.
Yeah.
The original band member.
I gotta type in now because I think maybe I've got to get your moderation back because they booted us off of TikTok because of inactivity. I guess I missed the CAPTCHA.
All these rules.
TikTok is a pain, bro.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about TikTok.
Yeah, I hear you.
Should I keep going? Is this boring? I feel like I continue to lose.
Goodbye,
you.
Bob Smith. Yeah, keep going. Bob Smith is leaving. Bob Smith was defeated.
I'm so sorry,
Bob Smith has he has thrown in the white towel.
When we go through all the causes of action, it gets pretty plain, right?
He's like, goodbye.
Okay, so that was the sixth cause of action. Seventh cause of action.
How many are there?
I don't know.
If there are 30, we should stop.
There's not 30.
Okay.
Seventh cause of action is aiding and abetting harassment and retaliation in violation of the FEHA employment law. Okay. And this is against Nathan, Tag, Abel, Wallace, and Street Relations. Aiding and abetting harassment and retaliation. She has proven that so thoroughly.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure what she has on Wallace and Street Relations, but against Nathan, Tag, and Abel, yes, that is concrete.
Concrete. That's
very well supported claim.
I'm so glad to see Stefan. Stefan's here. I just got to bring it up because I keep missing him. What's up, Stefan? So good to see you, dude. Thank you for your very kind words, by the way. He says you look good, and I have to agree.
Eighth cause of action, breach of contract. And this
Yeah.
is in regards to the actor loan out agreement. And I think that this is, paragraph 7 of the agreement strictly prohibited SH of any type.
Yeah. Well, of course.
So there we go.
Yeah. And that's California law requires it. So.
Breach of contract, the contract writer agreement. That's the 9th cause of action. Paragraph 10 of the agreement strictly prohibits retaliation of any kind against Miss Lively for raising any concerns about the conduct described in the contract writer agreement, including during publicity or promotional work for the film.
Yeah.
10th cause of action, intentional infliction of emotional distress. This is against Wayfarer, the LLC, Baldoni, Heath, Sarowitz, Nathan, Tag, Abel, Wallace, and Street Relations.
Yeah, they're all, I think, I mean, I don't know if she's going to get everybody on that. And I guess that's the whole thing about summary judgment, because, maybe the biggest complication in the summary judgment is that there's so many defendants.
I believe this one was dropped. I believe that that she intentionally dropped this because they were going to try and obtain medical records in order to prove whether or not she had emotional distress.
Yeah, she didn't want to
turn over. So she was like, okay, forget it.
I'm not going to tell you.
But I recall that the judge was like, you don't have to prove emotional distress, but it's wrapped into a bunch of these other, like, obviously those retaliation and the hostile work environment ones. Emotional distress is all included in that, so she didn't have to prove it, but it goes with the territory of those claims, because obviously you're not going to be working in a hostile work environment and not feel some emotional distress about it.
Totally.
11th cause of action, negligence,
yes,
infliction of emotional distress against Wayfarer, Baldoni, and Heath.
Well, again, that might be one of the ones she dropped because emotional distress might lead to her psychological records
being subpoenaed.
But I think she would prove that easily.
12th cause of action, false light invasion of privacy. California Constitution.
Oh, man.
Publicity and false and misleading disclosures.
Hang on, Angela,
from the defendants.
No, you don't have to hang on. I just got to report somebody. I'm going to report. I'm just going to say...
This is interesting. Do you want to hear it?
Harassment. Report. Okay. And let me just get rid of this person. I thought it was cosmic urgency, but I guess it's a spammer. Oh, God. Okay, go ahead.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're just getting bombarded by the losers again because it's all of the Wallace people, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that a magic word?
Yeah, they
and
just
summoned them.
They come here and they try to ruin your life. Yeah.
12th cause of action, false light invasion of privacy. This is interesting. So the defendants publicly disclosed information or material regarding plaintiff's marketing decisions, moral character, private life, and family, which showed Miss Lively in a false light. The false light created by the disclosures of these defendants would be highly offensive and objectionable to any reasonable person in Miss Lively's position, in that it made Miss Lively the object of scorn, pity, ridicule, humiliation, and other suffering. That's interesting. These defendants knew the public disclosures would create a false impression about Miss Lively or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. They admit to doing that in their text messages to each other, where they're talking about, let's invent this story.
Correct.
Also, Jennifer Abel has this really interesting tell. She will say in her text messages, she'll say, part of me wants to create a story about this and this, and she'll name something that's made up in her head.
Yeah.
She says, part of me wants to. And I believe that is that's Jennifer Abel's small ember of a conscience, like screaming at her to not do something. That she within herself is divided.
Yeah.
Because she'll say in her text message, like, yeah, we could be supporting our client, but part of me wants to talk some shit that I've just made up about Blake Lively. Part of me.
What's
I've
up
seen it
with
in
that?
like a couple of her messages.
So
I'm like,
I mean, I don't know if that proves it. It's circumstantial, but
that's like a psychological divide.
You certainly want to question her about it in deposition.
Yeah, what do you mean part of you?
What part of you? What specific? Is there when you say part of you, is that
the honest part?
Tell me about it.
Okay, 13th cause of action, SH in violation of California Civil Code. 14th cause of action, defamation and defamation per se against Wayfarer, Baldoni, and Heath. And 15th cause of action is civil conspiracy against all of the defendants. So what do you think about those last ones?
I think they're less important. We'll see how they roll out. I think on the
Conspiracy is proven for sure. They're
Yeah.
all talking to each other about trashing Blake Lively in the press.
correct. Like I think she'll prove that. Fairly easily, but we'll see. We'll see how this whole thing pans out. I think that the main causes, the ones that are that matter the most, I think they're slam dunks. She filed a complaint and they retaliated, and I think he's just fucked. I think he's got treble damages coming because as soon as that retaliation, and not only that, but what I love about what she's doing, and I hope that she's successful in doing, is exposing all the people who support this shit, right? Because that's what's up, right? These people are doing this shit for reals. They're doing this.
I know they're not doing it alone.
With the intent to cause harm, and they have help. They're getting help.
Yeah, what do they call those? Like
Conspirators.
no, yeah, right, but
Co-conspirators.
like secondary abusers. It's like
Oh.
there's the abuser. This is probably in like more like a personal social dynamics, but there's the abuser, and then there's the people that enable the abuser,
Right.
or the person that keeps the abused person from speaking up. They're like secondary abusers.
Yeah. You get that
takes
with
a village.
parents. You can get that with parents.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Well, that's pretty wild. Do you want to do some comments? I mean, there's been a lot. I know there. Watch out
You
for
have
the
spammers
we
again.
got the spammers coming back again.
It's so weird how they are imposters.
Yeah. I'm just gonna report them for harassment. But yeah, do you want to? While I do all this harassment or bullying, choose one. This is harassing me. Report.
It's really funny too because in
Hide user on my channel. Okay.
there's documents that describe doing this exactly, where they go into lively supportive spaces and they make a mess and basically just like put sugar in the gas tank.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a social combat plan.
I mean, how much more do you need in terms of a social
Like
combat
we're seeing
plan?
it happen every time we talk about this. This doesn't happen when we're talking about like, Carlsbad Caverns.
Listen to this person. This is hilarious. This is why like these people are paid. This person who calls herself Ursula Cherie, his lies, video footage shows otherwise. So in history of behavior, Blake Lively has said on herself so many times of being a bully and a liar. JB, not one instance of controversy from external sources. I'm just going to hold up a fucking lawsuit for you right now. This is just one of many, by the way. This is a lawsuit. Like, I know you're just a robot, but just for anybody who might be fucking listening to your stupidity, this is a lawsuit by, what's his name?
Shane Norman.
Shane Norman. I should just put it in big bold print somewhere in the back of this so that I could just see Shane Norman. This is Shane Norman's lawsuit. Shane Norman filed a lawsuit prior to Blake Lively, prior to any involvement in It Ends With Us. And he claimed not only discrimination, but retaliation. You just don't, you're not, you're a paid show. You don't know what you're talking about. Wish. It's so weird. So Cosmic Urgency didn't come back? Or he did?
That was a bot?
Well, yeah. Or he got hacked. Isn't it a bummer?
Well, I did notice that the icon looked different. We have to figure out how to get everybody badges. Are you saying you had to like achieve
I gotta hit 500 subscribe. I gotta hit 500 subs and 4,000 watch hours.
And then we can have memberships, and then we can
give
create
everybody memberships, and then we can give all of our core members just free memberships, and then they'll have like priority
We'll just block
distinctions.
everybody else.
Just block everybody else. We'll just stick with our like 18 people, and we'll just go forward.
Yeah. It'd be pleasant,
Yeah.
Did you get rid of this imposter?
Which one? Connolly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it not gone from you?
No. But that's okay.
It says I hit it. Huh. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the harassments. You guys aren't new to it. You guys aren't new to this though. You've been around. It's going on TikTok. You keep doing this. There's so many. Let's do some chats. We got lots of TikTok chats and YouTube. So to you.
To me. Did we cover everything that you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
I probably have some saved things, but we can get to those after we get to the chats. I don't have much saved. I don't think. I have to look.
Jenna is asking, Kevin Connolly is here?
No, Jenna, Kevin Connolly's not here.
Jenna, we have imposters that show up and they'll like create a whole little account.
They've been my brother with whom I've been estranged for 5 years.
Yeah, that's lame.
You know, they're just nasty humans. While you're looking up things, Harrison Ford said that he's never going to retire. He said because they need old people to play old people. I thought it was just, he's a fucking adorable male. I had a friend who worked with him.
Adorable male? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I had a friend who worked with him and he was like, it was fucking Harrison Ford. It was Han Solo. And he'd never worked with somebody of that stature in Hollywood before. So he said, he gets to the set and he's fucking terrified. He's like, oh my God. And he's met him a couple of times, like through rehearsals, very brief. He said, he'd never had like, extensive contact with the man at that point. And he said, he got to the set and he was, I don't know, maybe at craft service or somewhere. And fucking Harrison Ford like ran up behind him and gave him like a bear hug. And he turns around and Harrison Ford, he goes, hey man, you ready to go? And he was like, holy shit. And he was just like this incredibly inviting, warm, like he said, all of like the fears he had about Harrison Ford like were dissolved instantly.
Yeah, and he's such a pro that he probably spotted it from across the room and he was like, I gotta tickle the guy or something.
Yeah, maybe the director was like, dude, he came to me, he said you were fucking, he was terrified. You gotta help him out, But he did.
But why did he think it wasn't gonna backfire? Because I swear, if I was nervous on set and then Harrison Ford like bear hugged me, it would not make me feel better.
He loved it. It worked for him. He not only found love with Harrison Ford, but he what a great story, just a memory for life,
Bad Wolf had an interesting comment about Blake Lively's case.
Let's hear it.
We were talking about how she dropped emotional distress because she didn't want to have to provide medical records to prove it.
Yeah.
Bad Wolf said emotional distress is usually granted when there's money lost attached to it.
Right.
So that is interesting.
Yeah. Well,
so it's about calculating damages.
I have a feeling she's going to be able to show an amazing amount of loss.
I know that the judge, this is when we first started saying that there's probably going to be a summary judgment.
Yeah.
I know that the judge asked for her proof of financials.
Yeah.
So they want to know how much the PR smear campaign influenced her brand's
she's going to show it because they had like a 70+% drop.
Oh, is that true?
Sales on from all.
Well, the judge asked for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a slam dunk. Mm-hmm. She's probably gonna be able to put her agent up to talk about withdrawn offers.
Oh.
That's obviously completely, conjecture on my part, but I read the other day Winona Ryder talked about how Marlon Brando's freshmen withdrew their offer when they found out about her and Heathers and her role in Heathers. And so it just, I point that out only to say that, the town reacts to, whatever's happening to a specific talent. And if there's somebody in the mainstream, like Leo's in trouble right now. Like if you're P.T. Anderson, you got to be like, what the fuck, you jerk off. God. He's building a fucking hotel in Israel, just up from Gaza. So it's that kind of damage that like eventually kind of sinks the ship, to use an appropriate cliche for Leo.
See what you did there.
No, but it really is though. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then when that happens, the offers stop coming. So I think she's definitely having a difficult time finding work.
Yeah.
As an actor.
Maybe she'll be able to prove it. Katie Inc. on TikTok said they may have planned a smear campaign. They may have. They did. They did plan a smear campaign. But that doesn't mean that they executed a smear campaign.
Who said this?
Katie Inc. I've heard this from other people too. They may have planned a smear campaign, but that doesn't mean that they executed a smear campaign. I don't know that that's relevant. I think that planning a smear campaign satisfies her cause of action, her claim that they had a conspiracy to engage in harassment and retaliation. That's a civil charge that they're going to lose just because those text messages exist.
Correct. I couldn't agree with you more.
There was also money exchanged to accomplish a goal that was written out in the plan. And I think that the Wayfarer parties would have to prove that they were unsatisfied with the outcome of that business arrangement, right? They paid for a service. If it was not executed, then they should be displeased, right? If they paid like $30,000 a month.
Or whatever, yeah, like $100,000, whatever.
So if they can show that they didn't actually get what they paid for.
I'd be asking for a refund, would you? I'd be like, hey, listen, like Wallace said, well, we didn't do anything, we just observed.
How much did you get paid for that?
Yeah, like, so where in the
Was
deal
that what
does
you
it
told
say,
them you were going to do, or were we going to do more than that?
Like, where's the communication? Hey, there's nothing here. I worked with a publicist on the Christian movie, right? Mm-hmm. Recommendation, high recommendation, whatever. So we hired this publicist and we gave him like $25,000, right? And he didn't do anything. And he came back like he didn't get anything done. He was apologetic about it. And he came back to me and he said, "Hey man, I want to figure something out. I want to find I can't reimburse you because of my policies or whatever he said, but I want to figure it out." So he like gave us all this like extra stuff. What I'm trying to point out is that publicists who don't do a job, they try to make the customer happy. So there would have been a record of some kind, or a conversation.
They were very, very close with their clients, talking all the time. And if there would be a record of them being like for instance, before Melissa Nathan got hired to do the job, right? Yeah. Justin Baldoni was talking with Jennifer Abel, and we know this from Jennifer Abel's text messages, where he was like, I guess I'm not really feeling the protection that I had on the call, because they gave him a document spelling out what they were going to do. And he was like, you know what? On the call, you guys were saying that you were going to really bury her, essentially. Like,
right.
She said he wants to know that she can be buried. And then he comes back and he's like, I'm looking at this document and it doesn't seem as protective as you guys made it seem on the call, right?
Wow.
I know.
Well, we can't say we're going to bury her.
So there's evidence of him being very forthright, very clear in his criticisms of the work that they're planning on doing for him. If they didn't execute the plan that they were paying for sure we'd be seeing a bunch more text messages like that.
For sure.
Heath is really engaged with them. Baldoni's really engaged with them. They're texting all the time.
Yeah, there would be all kinds of conversations. And look, man, they're millionaires, but they're not going to just throw their money away, dude.
Yeah.
They're going to ask questions. They're going to get answers. They're going to be like, well, what's happening? Why isn't this that? Why would, do this, do that? The truth is you don't see any communication with them that has anything to do with any kind of dissatisfaction in the services that they were getting. There's none of that.
That's right.
There's no call out for not providing the services they paid for. There's none of that.
What we see is the publicists exchanging text messages, celebrating their accomplishments. The worse that it gets for Blake Lively, the happier they are.
I wonder if publicists are making notes and they're like, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, listen, so the charge is $50,000 a month, but we're going to refund you $20,000 a month.
So you can say it never happened.
So you can say that, to cover this, to give this this illusion that
maybe, dude.
They didn't do it. Like if they're trying to create this so-called organic,
God.
Because the whole idea behind their attack on Blake Lively was to not look like publicists. In fact, there was a moment in which one of them or both of them, was it Nathan or Abel, got mentioned in an article in the Daily Beast, and they went fucking...
No, her response verbatim was, why am I in this?
Why am I in this?
This isn't supposed to come from me. And it's because the whole time they're talking about it being untraceable. So she's not objecting because she isn't involved. She's very much involved. She just doesn't want to be named as involved.
That's right.
Because it's not supposed to get traced back to them.
These fucking people, dude. We can't tell you we're gonna fucking destroy her life.
We can't put it in writing.
We can't put that in writing. Signed, Melissa Nathan.
You just put it in writing.
You just put it in writing.
You dumbasses.
You stupid person.
Okay. Bad Wolf has a question.
Yeah.
If you had to choose one to work with, would it be Blake or Baldoni or neither?
Oh, I Blake for sure. Yeah.
How come?
Well, first of all, I think that she's, well, I mean, it's such a crazy question because there's probably nothing I would ever have for Blake Lively in terms of what her talent is and what I do. But she has the kind of experience that I'd probably work with better than I would with Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni's too pretty for my my book, you know? Like, I just don't know. I don't know what I would do with them.
He also talks like the worst yoga instructor you ever got stuck with. So I just wouldn't want to hang out with him in a workplace ever.
Also, I'm biased by what I think I know about him. So, it's like I don't want to work.
Yeah,
with
like,
somebody.
so are you like, oh, okay, I guess I have to have like an all male
Look,
crew?
I'm fucked, right? Because I hate liars, and they are everywhere. They're everywhere. And I've gotten to the point now, by the way, like I used to tell white lies, like everybody else. The like calling out sick when you're not sick kind of white lie. And I've sworn all of it off now. Like to me, because I feel like. I've been that guy. I've lied. I told, I can't even tell you how many times my grandmother died. She actually only died once, but you wouldn't know that if you were a former employer of mine in the early 90s, because I was using that woman's transition into the ether time and again to get a few extra days off, and even a couple of fucking gift baskets got thrown in there. So, you know what I mean? I was a white liar like so many others. Still loathing, of course, any lies that were meant to harm or discredit or just do anything bad, even evade the truth if that truth was potentially harmful or troublesome for me. I'm now at the stage in my life where I think all lying is just bad, just because even those little white lies can tend to I think they're just like part of the infection. They're just like so maybe they're not like wholly offensive, but I just feel like I think lying has just been just destroying this country on every level. The politician,
no,
from the
it's
politicians
true.
down.
But to bring it back to this topic, So say that Justin Baldoni said in his court filings that Blake Lively did want a closed set, but he was a little bit relaxed about that because he didn't believe that a closed set was necessary for all of the scenes, even though it was designated a closed set for the entire day.
Yeah.
So maybe he, in his own filing, admitted, yes, we opened the set up so that we could do business as usual and make better time by not having a closed set the whole time.
Yes.
Okay? That would have made him not a liar.
Right.
Because today we saw from his friend that she posted photographs that she'd taken on the set that day where it was obviously not a closed set. She was allowed to take photographs
Correct.
with her phone, and she was taking photos of monitors that weren't supposed to be displayed to somebody who wasn't, crucial crew or whatever.
I've talked about this, right?
So what I'm saying is maybe that's a white lie, but now he's a liar in a court document. He didn't tell the truth because he said that he had a closed set the entire time, that they adhered to standard closed set protocol, and they absolutely did not because we have photo evidence today.
I've said this multiple times on this live. I think one of the problems, one of the main ingredients for this absolute shit show of a production is the fact that they didn't know how to deal with having a big major A-list movie star and working with one of the top studios in all of film history.
No, it's true. There's a level of professionalism that's expected of you when you play with the big dogs.
And there's also, I think, a level of a level of professionalism that's expected. I think it's expected of you, but there's also there's a certain amount of confidence that comes, or a certain amount of trust, I guess you could say, from these giants, whether they're movie stars or whatever. When they go, this is a vetting process, right? And so they went through that vetting process and they made a deal. So there was confidence in Wayfarer at the time of the production, and it was well placed. They had, for all intents and purposes, been very successful up to then with 5 Feet Apart. That was a massive hit. He had that documentary that went did amazing numbers. And then of course he had built this large audience from his TV through to TED Talk and book and podcast. So there was every reason to feel confident these guys were able to produce. And that's why, by the way, that I've pointed out many times that they were also, they really had Sony on their side to begin with. When Blake asked for a producer credit, it was Sony that sided with Wayfarer and said, no, you'll get an executive producer credit. So, they had the confidence of the studio and they lost the confidence of the studio. And I know I fucked up the topic on that a little bit and I digressed, but
No,
as I do so often.
Mr. Hands has a question/accusation on TikTok.
Okay.
Are you willing to tell the truth?
The whole truth.
Really?
Yes.
Because you've sworn off lying?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Mr. Hands wants to know, did you make a Christian movie as redemption for burying Jerry Swindoll in the California desert? He says the hole wouldn't have to be very big, so I think it's plausible.
Oh my God. It's just so weird to get caught on a live like this.
It's about time you come clean, Dale. I think that's what we're all getting at.
No comment.
No comment? Oh my God. You're going to plead the fifth?
I'm just no commenting. What if that's Jerry Swindoll?
If it is,
Yeah, maybe
making
it's Jerry
jokes.
Swindoll. It's just Jerry Swindoll picking at Jerry Swindoll, just being funny with himself. Anyway, keep going. Yeah, that's hilarious though. You're so funny.
Okay,
You're
Bad Wolf has a
I hope
question.
I hope you're a writer because you're really fucking funny.
Bad Wolf says, it's in the contract usually or no? Exactly what is to be expected at that level? I should hope so.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean by is it in the contract? There, the things that are necessary to a contract are going to be in there. What those are specifically can vary from one production to another.
Her causes of at least 2 causes of action are about breach of contract for her employment agreement and her nudity rider. So
the kind of things I was talking about is the expectation that, for example, when an SH claim gets filed, that they would be able to handle that because this would be like standard like shit that you got to do when you run a business. Like every major company has SH claims going through HR. It happens all the time. It's an unfortunate part of living together. And remember, because SH isn't necessarily an act from one person against another. It can simply be an inconsideration, right? I can say something inappropriate that makes another person feel uncomfortable, and that person uncomfortable goes to HR and says, this person talks in this manner that makes me feel uncomfortable because it's inappropriate, content for the workplace. And then I get called in by HR and we have ourselves a conversation and they do their little preliminary or their little internal investigation. And if they find that I've violated rules that I agreed not to violate, then I get written up and there's a record made that I'm a violator of their SH policies. And I don't even necessarily get fired for it because it might have been just something incidental. Like I just said something, whatever. And it's just important that we understand these distinctions because people get carried away with what SH is. And then it's and then we have this hard time of like qualifying and quantifying what really is going on.
Bad Wolf clarified the closed set, open set, etc.
Okay, so the question is
yes,
that's contractual.
It's in the contract usually or no?
Yeah, that's in the contract.
That's also the labor union has rules about that, right?
Yeah, so So there's many contracts, right? There's not just the contracts with the stars. They're SAG signatory, right? So they have a collective bargaining agreement that they signed specific to their budget level, which is $26 million. So that's going to be considered a big budget movie. So they're going to be adhering to some of the, or be required to adhere to the strictest of rules as it relates to things like meal breaks and all these kind of financial considerations. But also certainly they're going to be, in those agreements, they're going to have things like, closed set policies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be a handshake.
That's
but again, there's guidelines set forward by the unions. So a lot of what an actor requests, or a writer for that matter, or anybody who is represented by a union, will be, will have provisions for in the collective bargaining agreement. And I said earlier, if you didn't catch it, some things the union creates guidelines for instead of actual rules that are basically enforced by the actors themselves because they allow the actor to decide how big the sandbox is, we'll say, in terms of what they're using for inspiration. My example earlier was there might be an actor, for example, who in their sex scenes, they want a room full of people or they don't mind a room full of people. Okay. I mean, it sounds ridiculous.
Bring the whole family.
Yeah. You can bring the whole kit and caboodle. We'll have hors d'oeuvres afterwards, or before. I kid, of course, but there might be, as an extreme example, there might be somebody out there who's like, yeah, dude, I actually thrive. I get more sexy when there's lots of people watching me. So for SAG to have an actual rule saying nobody's allowed on set, that would fly in the face of perhaps an actor's method. So instead they lay out these guidelines and then actors are able to attach to those guidelines in order to create the safe environment that works for them. If that makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. Now that means that those guidelines have to be followed. So like if an actor says, I want this, and the production agrees, then they have to be followed. And that's why you would find that in, potential like writers. It's like in the nudity writer, for example, is right. Where you'd likely see that.
Yeah. Bad Wolf said, so the issue is there are no clear boundaries in the language. That's what they're going to contend in the lawsuit. So their contracts are going to be, argued.
It's not you're not going to be able to. I don't think they're going to successfully argue the boundaries aren't set forward because the boundaries are set forward by the law as regards SH, and they don't have to. You don't have to put like nobody can say things that are offensive to me. There's an expectation, a general expectation that they're going to have a safe workplace and that the workplace is going to follow the laws of the land.
I did think that it was really interesting that so only one side has been showing all of their evidence that they have. Okay,
Yeah.
And that's Baldoni's lawyers have been like, built a website, put all the like all these documents with all the evidence.
It's a
that,
big
like,
advertising job, yeah.
Yeah, right. But one thing that they have never shown anybody is a contract,
Yeah.
and they have contract claims. But they've never shown a contract.
Not one.
And in fact, the judge was like, listen, if you want to keep your case, because I'm going to throw out your case, but if you want to keep these 2 contract claims, all you have to do is just provide the court with the contract.
And they did not.
And they did not. So I just think it's really telling that there's only one side who is able to make contract claims and actually, back them up.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing that evidence. I mean, she has that evidence submitted to court, but that's not public.
As regards boundaries, Bad Wolf, because I think this is a great line of questioning. Boundaries, there were boundaries for sure. We know that because they had a close set. We know that they adhered to the guidelines set forth by SAG or said they would, and put on their call sheet the rules that you would expect to see in a closed set printed on your. And this is important, right? Because as a crew member, you get your call sheet the day before, and we use those call sheets to know exactly what we're doing and who we're doing it with, who's invited, who's not invited,
right.
What time we have to be there, what are the fucking rules, Closed sets are not uncommon in Hollywood at all. And there are stars who shut down sets that don't even have sex scenes because they just don't want gawkers at all. Because unfortunately, when you're a famous person, and especially on these larger sets, when you're in these bigger movies, you can have a lot of people just really making actors uncomfortable. It's an interesting thing because sometimes actors are made fun of because of the "don't look me in the eyes" thing. But let me tell you, dude, when you're in character and you're doing this thing, and then you got somebody who might make you feel uncomfortable, it'll fuck you up, and you got to go all the way over.
They're just like grinning at you from across the room.
Dude, I was shooting the scene here in Atlanta or in Georgia. I was shooting this scene. And there were these, the cicadas were super loud. There's all this stuff going on. Whatever. It's a super emotional scene. This guy finds out that his baby was stillborn. It's
spoilers.
So bad.
Spoilers, Dale.
Yeah, whatever.
You're spoiling your own movie.
Yeah, I'm spoiling my own movie. I'm allowed to do that. Cosmic Rich is in here to fucking... Anyway. And, she comes back with so... We shoot the film, we shoot the scene, and the actor is a highly emotional scene. And I mean, he kills it. And then our sound person comes up to me, she's like, I don't know if I got it. She got the fucking sound right there. Give me a 30, don't give me. I don't know why I went there. Why did I go there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I must have digressed. I apologize.
So Bad Wolf said, so is HR through the studio or the union? It's through
HR's through the production company.
Yeah, so it was Wayfarer's HR. It was their set. They were responsible for the on-set conduct and the on-set employee management.
And whatever union rules, here's the conundrum that Blake Lively would be faced in a union situation. If there are union rules specific to SH or SA, if she were to follow those rules, she might be looking at a situation where the set might get shut down. So she's not going to take that kind of action unless it's so severe that it will require that kind of an action, in which case there will probably be law enforcement involved at that point. So she's not going to use a union to enforce SH, because if she does, there's a chance the union shuts the production down or fines the production or in some way creates some kind of major problem for the production. And that may not be what she was after, right? She might have been like, hey, I just want this to stop.
Let's get this thing done.
I want to get it done. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
And she certainly recognizes the amount of people who are riding in that production for their goddamn rent. I do believe that is the reason why that production continued. I believe the reason they got the 17-point document is because she understood two things. First thing is, she doesn't want to fuck over Sony either. This is why this whole idea that she wanted to take over her movie and fuck up a movie is so absolutely outrageous, because she is not going to ruin that relationship.
Yeah.
The relationship with Sony far outweighs a relationship with literally any movie star ever that has ever risen.
She is going to be yes or no, sir, to that big major studio.
For sure.
She wants to keep working.
Sony is worth an unbelievable amount of money, and they literally finance the kind of movies that she makes all of the time.
You know what occurred to me? There's also a detail I feel like that gets overlooked. The actor that plays young Lily,
Yeah.
it was her very first movie.
Yeah.
And I think that there's pictures of Blake Lively hanging out with her and doing like publicity with her and stuff.
Oh.
They seem to get along. And I think that I think that she even asked Taylor for some input about whether she was a good fit or something to play the younger version of her.
Huh.
I can't remember. Anyway, she seemed to have this like,
Tay-Tay?
no, Blake Lively seemed to have a closeness with the actress that plays the young Lily. I can't remember her name right now.
Oh, I think we're getting static.
Sound crackling again. Why does that happen?
Sound.
Well, it's
No,
time to go
look,
anyway,
it's
right?
Clean. And you guys are getting crackling, but I'm getting. Oh, it's OBS that's killing it.
Okay. Do you want to just wrap it up?
Guys, I love you guys. I'm sorry the sound crackling is happening again. I'm going to keep trying to fix the problem, but until I do, it exists. I love you guys. So sorry this has happened. We will see you again tomorrow. Good night. Thanks for a great night. I had a great time. Did you have a good time?
Nice time too.
Good night, everyone. We will see you tomorrow. Glad to see you too, Bad Wolf. Glad to see all you guys. God, so awesome. Good night.
Good night.